difficult. You've got to get your head down and try and weather the storm, but the storm keeps coming. And it kept coming indeed. A 160 to finish off. And she hits it. What a shot indeed.
I've said it for years, Scott. It's the only way to take out 102. Bullseye for Lorraine to get herself on the board. Her first leg to her name. It's 2 for 2 for Vicky Pruitt. She gets the better of Lorraine Winstanley. Hello, very good evening. Welcome along to the live lounge here in Portsmouth for the final night of qualification here at Women's Week at the Modus Super Series. It's the Champions League final tomorrow, and Fallon Sherrock is hoping that she is going to be lifting the big cup tomorrow evening. She leads the way in the Group B table. I'm going to be watching all the action this evening in the company of Scotty Dog Mitchell, and if the action's anything like last night in this Group B, then we're going to be in for a fun evening indeed.
Yeah, we certainly are. There was some, as we've seen in the clip, some big shots, some big finishes, and I think there'll be some more of those tonight.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that Group B action. We'll talk about that in a little bit more detail in just a second. But this afternoon we saw Group C culminate, and it's Deta Hedman and Rhiannon O'Sullivan that have progressed through to Saturday night's finals from there. Let's begin by talking about Deta. Dropped that opening game, and then ever since she's been pretty much perfect.
Yeah, I think she probably felt she was going to be playing catch-up against Rhiannon, the way that Rhiannon was playing, but she stuck to her task. And then come this afternoon when she was head-to-head with Rhiannon about who topped the group, she turned up and won the group.
Well, we're seeing the ton plus checkouts that she got in proceedings, those 114s that she got, particularly this one against Rhiannon O'Sullivan. Her timing at points was just so key.
Yeah, well, look, she knows when to start turning the screw. Sometimes you don't do it, but on this occasion, Deta managed it and managed it really well. And it looked at the end of the day that she controlled the group, but it really wasn't that easy for her.
Well, this is how the tournament bracket looks then. Half of the field have been confirmed for tomorrow evening's final. Beaugrees won Group A on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. Deta Hedman and Rhiannon O'Sullivan making it through Group C, whilst Group B is what we're going to be watching this evening. Fallon Sherrock leads the way, having won every single match on night one. Keeping close company to the Queen of the Palace is the Swede Vicky Pruitt, who came out the tracks flying, won each of her first three, and it was only really Fallon Sherrock in Game 4 that denied her in the end.
Yeah, very much so. Vicky looked sort of very calm and assured, and she did what she needed to do with those first three games and put herself in a position where, you know, it was a bit of a free hit with Fallon. It didn't really matter whether she won it or lost it. She'd put herself in the position she needed to be in, which was very clever because obviously now she knows that she got Fallon first game tonight of her first game. So she'll have a tough mountain to climb, because if she gets beat by a lot, then that makes the next three really hard. But she's in a good position. She looked really confident when she came in tonight and happy with her performance from last night.
As you mentioned, Fallon Sherrock is the player that is top of the table, winning each of her first four matches, winning every single game last night with the concession of just the solitary leg. What was it about Fallon's performance yesterday that pleased you so much, Scott?
It was just the scoring. The scoring power was absolutely there and thereabouts. And when you interviewed her last night and spoke to her, she was so pleased about how she played, and that's a sign when a player's happy how they've played. Then you know they've played well, because we're our own biggest critics and we're the first to jump on it. If we've had three good games and one bad game, we will comment on the bad game. But she didn't have a bad game last night, and the averages showed that. She was streets ahead of the others.
Well, let's break down Fallon Sherrock's performances yesterday. An average for the night of 98.08, a high average of 107.36, 57% on the checkouts, so winning 12 of the 13 legs that she played. That's pretty much as close to a perfect evening as a perfect evening can get.
Yeah, and I think the one leg she lost was a ball shot out from Lorraine Winstanley, so it took something special to get that leg off of her.
It most certainly was. So let's have a look at the table then as we reach the second half of proceedings in Group B. That's actually how Group C finished early on this afternoon. Deta Hedman winning there from Rhiannon O'Sullivan. Them two are going to progress their way through to tomorrow night's final. Group B looks like this. Fairly uniform table. Fallon Sherrock leading the way. 8 points to her name. Vicky Pruitt and Kirsi and the other two players in qualification spots. Let's talk about Kirsi, because we broke down the numbers earlier on this evening. Only Fallon, SHERROCK, because of what she did last night, had better numbers than her yesterday. You get the sense that she plays at a similar level. She should have enough to get through.
Yeah, very much so. She's going to have to. I mean, obviously the two people that are the danger people are the two Lorraines to her. She's really got to pick those games up. If she loses one of those, then she's going to have to find herself trying to beat Vicky or Fallon to make sure she stays there. But look, she's got gears as well. I think, she's been around an awful long time. Kirsi has shown under pressure she can take the shots, she can hit the doubles, and she's got gears. She'll be hoping a good game if she makes it to Saturday night, comes out then. But tonight, I think she'll do enough to get through.
Well, let's have a look at the outrights. This is to win Group B. Perhaps not a surprise, Fallon, SHERROCK is a heavy favourite, 1-8. Vicky Pura, 9-2. Kirsi Vinnakainen, 16-1. The two Lorraines, big money outsiders. Effectively, what the bookies are saying here is they don't see any change in the order.
No, and I got to be honest with you, the way that the form book went last night, I have to say the same. But I think that the two Lorraines have got a bit of a free hit tonight. They know that they can come in and, just throw with a bit of freedom. All the pressure's gone now. They lost too many in a row last night. Now they can just come and try and show why they're here, and they'll be hoping to get an invite back if a Women's Week ever happens again. It's
18+, begambleaware.org if you're going to have a flutter on the Super Series this evening. Right, let's get into our first game of the evening session, shall we? And it is going to see Lorraine Winstanley in action. The only player without a victory to her name so far in this Group B campaign. The former World Championship fighter, the former World Master, is looking to make things right on this Friday night. Her first assignment of the evening was to have a catch-up with her old sparring partner, Scotty Dog, to talk all things darts.
So, Lorraine, yesterday was the first time in the building for you. What do you think of the place?
It's an amazing building. You can feel the character when you walk through the door. And it's a great setup. Didn't quite go to plan yesterday, but it's a whole new experience, so taking it in my stride.
So, I know you as a friend, and I know that darts life is part of your life, but off the board you are also a very busy person.
Really busy, yeah. So I'm head of youth development for Target Darts, and it keeps me very busy and out of trouble, hopefully.
That's the plan. I saw Dean saying that. We'll just touch on yesterday. I thought you had a tough start yesterday, drawing Vicky, and when she'd already had a game and you hadn't.
Yep.
Since she played so well against you, and then you dropped on Fallon. So 2 tough games to start.
There isn't an easy game here, is there? And I think it's just how well you adapt to the situation. It's very quiet and the mic is very loud, and it just seems strange playing on a stage with nobody else in the building. So, like I say, I'm hoping tonight goes a bit better. But it's all about adapting to your surroundings, and I struggled with that last night. So I hold my hands up. I'm just a bit embarrassed, really, but. You have to learn from it and move on to the next, don't you?
Well, we're hoping that it doesn't happen to you 2 nights in a row, and we're looking forward to seeing you. We're so pleased to have you here, finally.
I know, it's great to be here. I am really, really honoured to have been asked to come, especially on the first Women's Week. Okay, my performance hasn't been great, but I'll still take the honour of being asked, and if I get asked back again, brilliant, and if I don't, I can say I've been here, so it's all good.
Thanks ever so much, Lorraine, and enjoy your evening.
Thank you.
And Lorraine is going to take on Kirsi Vinnakainen in the first game of the evening session here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. Lorraine, a great player, but also a great talker of the game, has very much vested interests outside of the playing side of the sport. As she mentions, works with a manufacturer in the youth development side of the sport. But as far as Kirsi Vinnakainen is concerned, the 51-year-old from Finland, 15-time WDF event champion, hoping to make it through to finals night here at Women's Week, and you'd sense the way that she's played, it'd be a well-deserved route through to that particular occasion. As for Lorraine Winstanley, you get the sense that she's going to have to be nigh on perfect to make it through to tomorrow evening's finale. Playing things down, just taking every game as it goes. Maybe that could be the route for success for Lorraine. You'd expect a better level of performance from her compared to night one. She alluded to that in her interview that she composed with Scott Mitchell prior to play getting underway. And I've been having a chat, Scott, with 1 or 2 people in the building this evening in the build-up to tonight's action. There's a couple that think that this could be a real difficult opener for Kirsi because there's an expectation that Lorraine is going to up the levels in comparison to yesterday evening.
I think there's every chance of that. I think Lorraine, it's very strange to come in here for the first time, and one of the two of the girls had that Group A campaign as well. So been here for a little bit, but I think also it does take time to get used to here. It is the new surroundings. It is very different. The format as well for players that haven't played it before. Generally, when we lose, you're in the car and on the way home. But here, if you lose, 20 minutes and you're back on sometimes. So very different to get your head round. But the more times you do it, the better you get at it. And I'm sure that Lorraine would love to have some more opportunities to come back.
What was the biggest thing that you found when you walked on that stage for the first time? You came up and thought, well, that's different to anything else I've played before.
For me, it was exactly what Lorraine said. It's a big, wide open stage. It's very much what we're used to playing on, but it's so silent. It really is silent, and we're not used to that. We're used to hearing noises and things in the background, not sort of deliberate noises, but noises, of people mulling about and a little dull roll while people talk to one another. This is so quiet, you hear an ambulance go up the street outside. It's one of those sort of places, or a loud motorbike, and and you find yourself being very conscious of not making a noise yourself while the opponent's rowing. So it's very different, but it doesn't take long to get used to. And when you start winning games, it's funny how quickly you can get used to it.
Well, Kirsi's very much been getting used to the winning feeling here in Portsmouth, finishing third in Group A, currently third in Group B, and is in position to win the first leg. But that 140 for Lorraine there has given her a very good opportunity, if this 95 doesn't go, to take out leg number 1 of the night. 76 left. 88 to take out the first leg in 15. And she has been good at those types of combinations, but not on that particular occasion. And so Winstanley should get a dart at tops of the break at a very minimum. Just about in there. Tops. The only good thing about that second dart was the fact that it was out of the way for dart 3 at tops, but that was precariously close to the treble bed. Vinakainen back for 88 to take out leg 1.
Game shot on the first leg.
16 points for dart 16, and Vinakainen is off and running for the night.
Yeah, she is very prolific at her shooting out. She's very good on her doubles, and when she starts stringing those ton plus scores along with hitting doubles like she does, I believe that she's still getting better. Kirsi, she's been around for a while now. I've seen her at many sort of Europe Cups and World Cups, and her throw and her style has not changed. The pace hasn't changed. Nobody's going to move her along. She'll take as long as she wants to throw the darts, and I think that she will continue to get better.
Yeah, a player we've seen more recently on the Women's Series circuit, which is perhaps the reason why she is number 20 in that particular order of merit. In terms of that order of merit, Lorraine Winstanley finds herself 10th. But there is a different race between the main order of merit and then the race for the World Match Play, where currently Lorraine, who missed out last year, set to do so again in 2024, currently finds herself 14th in the race for the Winter Gardens. Katie Sheldon holds spot number 8, but only just from Natalie Gilbert, Robin Byrne and Arlene de Graaf, who are very much close to that position. £3,700 for Sheldon, $3,500 for Gilbert, 3,400 for both Byrne and de Graaf respectively. And the cut-off for that is in June 17th, so it's only one more round of Women's Series events to go before we do know the 8-player field for the Women's World Match Play, which will take place in July at the Winter Gardens.
Yeah, another event very important for the ladies' game. They're on the big stage at Blackpool. The game is going from strength to strength, and the publicity behind what they're doing is gathering pace.
81.
It's a long way from yesteryear when likes of Trina Gulliver, who was here playing this afternoon, were campaigning to try and get a Women's World Championship and battled hard to eventually get one with 4 lady players in it. And look how the women's game has grown from there. And now we're looking at weeks here at the
107
Super Series.
Well, to put it in perspective, Scott, Bo Greaves won 25 grand for her World Championship title back in December. That was 3 times more than the combined prize fund for the first event back in 2001. Venikainen here looking at tots for a 2-0 lead. There's a B for the breaker throw as well, and so it means she'd have the darts of the match. She's been so good on this target all week. However, the way her darts go into the ball, that could be a little bit awkward, and maybe case in point there.
Lorraine require 133.
Yeah, they're quite flat, aren't they? And right on the top wire can be a bit of a blocker.
.45.
But I suppose, lucky for her, she's going to get another 3 darts at that particular target. But when Stanley's put it under more surmountable pressure now.
Game shot.
Pressure, what pressure? Venikainen moves 2-0 to the goods.
The leg, it's Kirsi to throw first.
Well, we mentioned in the build-up, Scott, that Venikainen's numbers were the second best in the group behind Fallon and SHERROCK. Had a running average of 81.5 for the night. Won 8 legs in the evening's proceedings, and those 8 hits at double came from 21 attempts. So just over 1 in 3 strike rate there. They're solid numbers, which when you look at and compare it to the rest of the group is going to do severe damage.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's unique about the ladies' game at the moment is there are many more players doing the numbers. It used to be 2 or 3, and you could, you know, write on the back of a fag packet who you thought were the 3 that were going to be in it at the end. And that all depended on who drew who at the latter stages. Now, you've got people doing the numbers right the way down and outside the top 10, all duffing one another up. But we do still have the 2 standout players that are doing just a little more than the others in the form of Bo Greaves and Fallon SHERROCK. But that's good for the game because the other women are going to have to keep up, and that will keep and drive the standard higher and higher.
Well, that's tending to be the rivalry right now. Mikuru Suzuki still doing some fantastic stuff. She's number 3 in that order of merit, and by a long distance. We know that Lisa has got her injury problems at this present moment in time, and hopefully we'll see her back to a full bill of health
60.
before too long. Still playing in events, but not playing to the consistent level because of that shoulder problem. We saw her at the Women's Tour finals, 1 or 2 issues, but then played really well at the Circus Tavern, didn't she, at the World Seniors Championship?
Not really sure. Didn't see her much there, you know what I mean? Not at all. No, absolutely. She was playing lovely there. Yeah, she was just eating Super Series commentators alive up there on the Circus Tavern stage.
I wasn't going to mention your drubbing directly, but now you have.
Yeah, absolutely. Set me up to create my own downfall. Thanks for that, Henry.
Yeah, Lisa Ashton at that World Seniors Champion, in case you don't know, beat both Scott Mitchell and Chris Mason before making it through to the semi-finals. They missed out in extra time in the last set to Colin McGarry to make the final.
41.
Yeah, always difficult to play a lady on stage at one of those. Very difficult. And early doors, every time I missed, she hit, and it was just, she played lovely.
60.
Absolutely lovely.
Does he require 107?
Venikainen looking to finish with the fish. The Finn looking to finish with a fish. Another one of them. Would have left the bull's eye, and that would have been some way to have finished the game off. But when Stanley to keep any hopes alive is going to have to take out this 145. Treble 15. Would have left tops, and it wasn't too far away, it has to be said. And when standing, when she had an opportunity,
129.
yeah, to ring,
Kirsi requires
by and large
72.
took. Only missed the one dart and a double last night. But this to complete the match for Vinnikainen. Another one of them. Gives herself a match start at tops.
52.
And this
Lorraine
was the
requires
department
60.
where when Stanley was so strong yesterday. And
Game
is so
shot in the
again.
third leg.
When she
Lorraine
gets an
Winstanley.
opportunity, Lorraine Winstanley tends to take it. The issue has been
Full
that
bag, it's
in
Lorraine
terms of
to
the
throw
scoring
first.
power,
Game
Kirsi
on.
Vinnikainen has just had a little bit too much in this contest.
Yeah, it was a super 4 darts there from Lorraine. Super setup. And now a little bit of momentum. And look what she's up to.
140.
I have to give credit, Scott, where credit's due. I was speaking to our spotter this
94.
evening, who's a regular face at the Super Series in Jared Cole. And Jared was saying in his summation of tonight's action, expect a better version of Lorraine Winstanley. And so far, he's been proved right.
43.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that was always going to be the case. Well, it was a case of getting used to the surroundings. We saw it with Rhiannon O'Sullivan, where she said, you know, Group A sort of passed her by and she couldn't wait to get back to 0 to start again because she'd learned so
59.
much in the first 3 days. Lorraine didn't have that advantage. She came straight in yesterday, and being Group B, it's the shorter version of the system, and you have no time to get used to it. You have to get going immediately.
137.
Well, Lorraine is upping it just as Kirsi's plateauing, just staying around that late 70 level.
81.
And suddenly, where Kirsi had an opportunity to take out this game 3 zip, it looks more likely than not that we're going to go all the way to a last leg decider.
41.
Yeah, we just had a little message from Darren on our live chat about, I just saw Kirsi rushing to the board to take her darts out. How long does the dart have to
97.
stay in the board? Well, basically, you've got to be able to retrieve it. There's no length of time. You've got to retrieve it without dropping it, and then the score will count, which is why she rushed before it dropped out of the board.
That's a famous incident with Dave
100.
Chisnell of regarding out of the World Championship.
Kirsi
What a
required
dart that is from
170.
Winstanley to leave herself on tops. This game could be swinging on a pinhead if Vinnikainen can't take out the big fish. She's not able to. And she's only missed 1 dart. Well, a couple of darts at a double on the Modus Super Series stage as Lorraine Winstanley. She's going to get a go at tops to make it 2-2 and to send us all the way to a last leg decider. It would also mean that if Winstanley could win it,
95.
Pruitt and Sherrick could
Lorraine
move clear, then
required 40.
Vinnikainen would stay on 4, and the 2 Lorraines would be on 2 points respectively. But she has to take out the double 10, and she'd then have to break in the last leg. But she hasn't
20.
done job 1, and has opened up the door for
requires
Vinnikainen to win the
75.
match now.
Yeah, she was a little way from that first dart at tops, and she's frustrated with that because then that affects your next 2 darts. But here we go. Kirsi just takes a step back to have a look at double 12. Double 6 now.
63.
She has
Lorraine required 20.
let a chance to win the match go begging, and Lorraine Winstanley won't need a second offer, surely.
Game shot.
No,
the
she
fourth
doesn't.
leg. Lorraine Winstanley.
You can see the confidence coming now with Lorraine Winstanley. Nobody really
Fifth
knew
and
whether
final
to
leg,
punch
it's
hands,
Kirsi
shake
to throw
hands,
first.
do-si-do or whatever there, but
Game
they
on.
have acknowledged one another. Nice bit of sportsmanship before the last leg, and Kirsi now will be looking for a ton as a minimum requirement kick-off in this leg to get her going.
60.
Yeah, social awkwardness of the highest degree.
Put so well, Henry. Well done. Yes, it was.
Well, when Stanley really is making the
140.
kick in what they'd call the championship rounds if this was a boxing bout. As I mentioned, Vinakaina's not really wavered too much in terms of her level when Stanley's just
95.
gone up by a few points, taken the opportunities when they've arisen to her, and that's why we find ourselves in a last leg decider and find ourselves in a position where when Stanley, up until this moment, you could have made a case for her
63.
to be favourite to win this match.
Yeah, the last start there was very important. Huge, that treble 19 for her in this situation. And how big are these darts now for Kirsi?
140.
Recovering very well there, Vinakaina makes her favourite for this last leg. When Stanley needs to find a counter punch.
She
100.
managed to find one and keep herself there in the mix and keep Vinakainen very much under pressure.
She does have this
100.
ability, Kirsi, of just finding a way. Sometimes makes it a little bit more hard work for herself, but then manages to do enough to get over the line.
64.
Started
Does
well,
he
Lorraine.
require
Still not a million miles
106?
away. Still pressure on Vinakainen. And that will be why you don't head in that direction on 106.
Lorraine, you require 100.
Bag of nails, that one. She wants to forget that throw. And could it be the throw that costs her?
Well, Vinstani's not going to take out the 134, but she must be thinking in the back of her mind. She could be the one to put herself in a more
58.
makeable position. And you can argue
Kirsi require
76 compared to
95.
95. She is, but it's Kirsi that's approaching the Oki to win the contest.
Double 19 now. And that's the problem with double 19. She has to waste a dart. She's going to go for a 3. Moving slightly over.
82.
Hits the double 3. And you have to
Lorraine
say the
requires
last 6 darts
76.
from Vinakainen have caused her a lot of distress. Should be 1 dart a double now for Winstanley. And she now misses the big number. Tense, nervous headache, and you can see the pressure getting to both ladies.
Well, Vinakainen will be
44.
hoping that 13 is
Kirsi requires
lucky for
30.
her. It put her on to 6 points in the group and pretty much put a full stop towards Winstanley's charge towards 3rd place. To finish this contest. Double 4. One more in hand. Doesn't go,
5.
it grazes the wire. But Lorraine is
requires
finally back for her
32.
first win. Double 16 for Winstanley to get over the line. And to get her first points on the board. Double 4. Goes.
Game shot and the man.
A round of applause for Lorraine
Lorraine
Winstanley.
Winstanley.
She gets her first win on the Super Series stage. Look at that sigh of relief as she gets the better of Kirsi Vinakainen by 3 legs to 2. Vinakainen had put herself in a good position, 2-0 to the good, but Winstanley running off the last 3 in succession to complete the match and to get her first 2 points on the board. It means that suddenly things get a little bit interesting in that race for 3rd place, but it's all about the top 2 after the break as we see Vicky Pruitt take on Fallon SHERROCK, who is looking to preserve a perfect record in Group B. Welcome back to the Modus Super Series, where before the break we saw Lorraine Winstanley get her first victory here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth, getting the better of Kirsi Venäläinen by 3 legs to 2. Now it's time for the top 2 as far as Group B is concerned to go toe-to-toe on the Live Lounge stage. Fallon SHERROCK won each of her 4 fixtures last night. Vicky Pruim, well, she's the player in second position, winning her first 3 before succumbing to SHERROCK in the last game of the evening session. The Antwerp Lightning, well, came out like a bolt from the blue, but was beaten by the player in pink, Fallon SHERROCK, the 29-year-old from Milton Keynes, former World Match Play champion, former World Trophy winner, and looking to become the champion of the first ever Women's Week here at the Modus Super Series. A lot of people saying that herself and Bo Grease are on a collision course for the final. Vicky Pruim probably has shown over the course of the last couple of days that she's the player most likely to break that potential duopoly as far as this week is concerned. That's your referee, Owen Binks from Colchester in Essex, who has officiated a number of Women's Series events as well as other PDC events, as well as being our head referee here at the Modus Super Series, our lead official. It's Fallon SHERROCK that leads the way, and her stats yesterday, Scott, was way above and beyond anybody else.
Yeah, I was having a quick number shuffle last night while you were interviewing them. You know, the 98 average is pretty special, and like I say, opened up with the 107 and the 103 to really
100.
Put the frighteners up everybody, and on she went and did the job that she came here to do. She just loves
96.
winning dart matches, and so that's what she continues to do to the best of her ability. I actually played her in Hildesheim just after I think she beat Andy Bolton 5-0 in her first round game, and then I drew her in the second round, and she played superbly well against me, and I probably played my best game of the weekend to get by her, to be honest. She is playing so well, and the more that you throw at her, the more she enjoys it, because she starts flinging it back.
96.
Would you say that's one of Fallon's strongest attributes, the fact that she's such a strong match player?
Yeah, definitely. I look, when you have a player and you start throwing tons and ton 40s at them, and they start throwing them back at you, that's a sign of a special player. And then she gets herself chances, and then she takes them. And if you talk to her, she does like playing men. She likes playing against the men because they're they do sort of hang in there a little longer, and that's what's making her game a lot better. And I'm sure she's got Cammy as a practice partner at home, and this is lifting her game as well.
Well, this would be quite the start. She kicked off yesterday with 2 ton toppers in a 3-0 victory against Lorraine High, that 107.36 average straight out of the gate. A little bit more sedate than that this evening, and Pruim's going to have a go at double 18, pin the double 18. And that's just the second leg in this Group B that Fallon SHERROCK has conceded. She played 13 legs yesterday evening, did the Queen of the Palace. She won 12 of them, but she's conceded the first of the night. And Vicky Pruim has basically said to us, you could talk about Fallon all you want, but I am here, and I'm here to compete and win this Group B and upset the apple cart.
There's no two ways about it. She's not just here to make up the numbers.
100.
A very, very accomplished thrower over the years. Fallon did beat Vicky last night, 3-0. And Vicky's saying, you're not going to get me 3-0 tonight, and she hasn't.
Well, we mentioned Vicky's illustrious career
44.
made it through to the semi-finals of the World Championship back in 2002, but this year's been a very strong one for the Swede. Winner twice on the ADC Championship Tour, one event 2.
58.
Beat Eleanor Cairns in the final 5-4, and then at the weekend beat a player that we saw in Group C earlier on this afternoon in Natalie Gilbert
43.
by 5 legs to 3. Fallon herself has had her couple of victories on that particular tour in 2024. Beat Lorraine Hyde in the first event final by
60.
5 legs to 0, and then at the weekend beat a player very much in form right now, Gemma Hayter, by 5 legs to 1. I get the sense if we do have a second Women's Week at some point further
44.
down the line, that Gemma's going to be high up on the list of players to get an invitation for that particular event. She won 2 of the 4 events that took place at the weekend in Middlesbrough, and then was runner up in that other one to Fallon in very good form.
Fallon here down to 83
Fallon, you require
after 15 and 80 left, looks like a 3. Thought she might have gone tops there, but no, making sure she stays perfectly safe. Prum back on 227.
60.
Hasn't found the score and power she had in the last leg.
Double 10. Grazes the wire. But if she can clip it off that barrel, then it's got a great chance of finding the bed, but chance comes and goes for the Queen of the Palace. Prum 167 to get the break and move 2-0 up. Not going to happen, and so Sherrock's going to come back for 3 more and hand it. Double 10 to square up this contest. Square it up she does, 1-1. And just a reminder that because of Lorraine Winstanley's win against Kirsi Venäläinen in match 1, it means that any victory at any point tonight for Fallon Sherrock will be enough to send herself through to the final on Saturday evening.
Evening, Adam.
45.
He's just joined us in the chat room. Adam Lipscomb. Many times played here at the Super Series from just up the road.
100.
Adam Lipscomb, who was the player on the receiving end of Fallon Sherrock's record-breaking televised 9 darter back in August.
64.
Viewed over 8 million times around the world, that 9 dart leg.
58.
Say, probably the most infamous moment in the history of the Super Series.
140.
Prum coming back into it now with a good 140.
Feels like she's blowing hot and cold a little bit at the moment, Vicky.
83.
Yeah, definitely.
$100.
As one of our other commentators would say, feast or famine. I love that saying.
$100. Vicky record 152.
That was a bit more halfway house for the pair. A ton apiece means that they're both on high finishes. Prum isn't going to take out the 152 and doesn't look like she's going to make many inroads either.
11.
Really has opened up the door for Fallon. She's already
160.
taken out a 160 in this group.
Yeah, she did. Nice and cleanly.
42. Vicky record 141.
Prum 141 isn't going to go. And for a good couple of visits, she's just gone stray again, just
45.
illustrating the point that
Fallon
things have been
require 180.
hot and cold for her at this present moment in time. As Fallon Sherrock got her number though, 118 for the break and a 2-1 lead. A dart at tops for the Queen of the Palace.
78.
Goes above.
Vicky require 96.
Right smile from her there. 96.
64.
A good miss if
Fallon
you're going to have
require
one
40.
up there on 36, but chance has gone and you don't see Sherrock missing here.
Game shot in the third leg. Fallon Sherrock.
Quite duly listened because she didn't miss.
Well, she's now a leg away
Fallon to throw
for
first.
progressing through
Game
to
on.
tomorrow night's final. For Vicky, this was almost the free hit game, wasn't it, for her? There's a big expectation that fans are going to go on and make it through at some point. This was probably not the battle that she needed to
41.
win. It's the other 3 after this, which she really needs to go and attack. She's got Lorraine Hyde next for taking on Lorraine Winstanley.
180.
Actually, the fixtures work out perfectly for Vicky because if in the worst case scenario, she takes on Kirsi Venäläinen in the last match, who you would sense is going to be the
97.
player, if she is embroiled in a battle to stay in proceedings, is the one that will probably be most likely to knock her out. But this is a superb leg. Max followed by 140, threatening the break back. Sherrock needs to find another hit. Does find another. This is a proper leg.
140.
Just beginning to warm up, these two.
60.
Yeah, with them both being on the top end of the group, it was always going to be a bit of a touchy-feely game, wasn't it? Find your way in, but I think
99. Vicky
gloves are off now and
121.
both are going for it.
Well, Treble 17 would have left the bull's eye to take us all the way. Sherrock took out a 1-2-4 to win her first leg of
45.
last night. Could she take it out to finish off her first win of tonight and to send herself through to tomorrow evening's final? It's going to happen this time. Pruitt back for 76 to take us the distance.
50. Vicky requires 76.
Double 8 incoming. There's the marker.
Game shot the
there's
4th leg. Vicky
The
Pruitt.
finder. Found her target. A breaker throw as well. So
5th and final leg, it's Vicky.
Vicky
to throw
now
first.
has the
Game
darts.
on. Whoa!
Wow. What an
180.
opening score from Vicky.
She's really strung something together here, Vicky. A matter of fact, Vicky Pruitt in this
100.
game has won more legs against Fallon Sherrock than the whole of the field last night were able to muster.
I was just about to say the same. Great start.
100.
Well robbed.
Well, Vicky may well be picking up the victory here because Sherrock hasn't really been able to muster it much in this
60.
last leg, and Pruitt's backed up the max of a ton and had 6 on 2-2-1 to get over the line.
Yeah, Sherrock hasn't started as quickly as she did last night.
40.
107 in her first game. Set her up for the rest of the evening.
$36.
Not the visit she was looking for. And now you've got to be careful when you're in Vicky's situation here that you don't look at the scoreboard and go, oh, I'm a mile ahead here. Don't mess this up. You cannot start thinking like that. It is going for the jugular is got you in this position. Plus a few bad darts from Fallon along the way.
121.
But Fallon is still there in touch, so you have to keep her at arm's length because she does have the
45.
ability to take this out in 6 darts without a problem.
That was almost a consolatory shake of the head there from
96.
Fallon. She
Vicky
leaves herself on a
requires
finish, but it's
76.
all about Vicky Pruitt now. 76 for the match, 16 at tops to get over the line. And that was a
36.
dart to
Fallon,
beat
you
Fallon
require
Sherrock. This would be some way
151.
to send herself through, and some real powers of recovery as well from the Queen of the Palace.
Not to be on this occasion, so
60. Vicky require 40.
Rome has a chance. 3 at tops. She'll only want to use 1,
Game
and 1
shot
she
out
does.
of the match.
It's a big
Vicky
victory
Pruitt.
for Vicky. Here at the Super Series, she inflicts Fallon Sherrock's first defeat here in Group B. See the averages there. Very even game indeed. 73 for Vicky and 74 for Fallon, but 3 from 7 is the tail of the tape there. Just 2 from 8 from Fallon. We'll head into a short break while you savour what's gone on, and we'll return with Lorraine Winstanley against Lorraine Hyde.
Hang on a minute. Wow! Oh my God! Well, that's £100 down the drain already. Itching to hit the 180. He's gone for the maximum. 18 for the bull. Bull.
53.
No, he said bull. That's
a great first start from Adam. Oh, look at this. He's going to leave Scape. Oh, can you believe it? That is unbelievable.
Match starts to put his team into the final. And through to the final they go. Charlie Murphy has hit the match-winning dart on both occasions. Double 4 for the title.
Please show your appreciation for the winner of the Influencer Pairs event, George Scaife and Adam Lipscomb.
He seems to be out. That's what he is. Charlie Murphy. A couple more visits yet. We're not going to need that.
Bosh.
Pie Face is through.
And he's absolutely buzzing.
It was a game that Pie Face dominated throughout.
Welcome back to the Modus Super Series, where before the break, Fallon SHERROCK was inflicted her first defeat in this Group B campaign, beaten by Vicky by 3 legs to 2. And so that means them two are now tied on 8 points at the top of the table. Lorraine Winstanley can move herself level on points of Kirsi Vinakainen. In fact, the winner of this contest can move level on points of Kirsi Vinakainen, courtesy of Lorraine's first win here on the Super Series stage. And she takes on Lorraine Hyde, the 34-year-old from Inverurie in Scotland, from just outside Aberdeenshire, winner of 2 WDF ranking titles, is Heidi. And so, what's going to happen in our third game of the evening session? Lorraine Winstanley has already got a win to her name tonight, beating Kirsi Vinakainen by 3 legs to 2 in the first game of the evening. What's the third game of the evening going to do?
First
Scotty Dog
Lorraine
Mitchell.
Winstanley to throw first.
Indeed, yes. What we're going to do about that one? Yeah, well, Wayne Winstanley might hit us a treble 20 here. No, she's not. Yes, she is. No, she's not.
28.
Yeah. Well introduced there, though, mate. I enjoyed that.
Cheers, Scott. Glad somebody did. Can you send that to the bosses?
60.
I think that should be cut and made as an editorial.
$29. $60.
For Lorraine Winstanley, that opening win will just give her that extra little bit of confidence, won't it? Because she said in that interview with you last night that she felt almost a little bit embarrassed at times with her level of performance.
42.
But she's definitely got a different air
100.
about her tonight, here's Lorraine. I do think Lorraine wins this game.
99.
I would totally agree.
As for Lorraine Hyde from Scotland.
1.
Yeah, whereabouts in Scotland is she from, Henry? I would like to know. I didn't quite catch it earlier.
$45.
Represented her country on many an occasion.
I think she's from the Aberdeen area.
Yes.
43.
Inverurie, I think it's called. Apologies to anybody who lives anywhere near that vicinity.
To be fair, they've got no idea where you're talking about if they lived there, because it sounded nothing
55.
like. But well done,
Lorraine,
great attempt.
141.
141 for Win Stanley.
Everybody loves a trier, Henry. Everybody loves a trier.
I'm just glad it wasn't Cameron Crabtree lives in that particular part of the world.
Yes.
60.
Him and Richard Rollins are being big trouble.
140.
Anyway, Lorraine Hyde, 140 for the first leg and the breaker throw.
$44. Lorraine, you require 81.
So 81 for Lorraine. Double 12. The double leg has been delightful for Win Stanley so far this week. That's a lovely guide. Beautiful guide.
60.
I cannot follow it. And so Hyde's
Lorraine,
going to come back
require
for
96.
96 to take out the opening leg with a breaker throw. Not to be. And so Win Stanley will come back for
56.
double 6.
Lorraine, you require 12.
Down for double 3. In it
Game's on the
goes. Win
first leg.
Stanley a leg
Lorraine
to
Win
the
Stanley.
good.
Second leg, it's Lorraine Hyde to throw first. Game on.
It's just a hold of throw, so no panic yet for Lorraine Hyde.
100.
Well, it is nice to see, unlike the ITV morning show, that the Lorraines that are due to be on the programme actually appear on the programme.
Who's ever around to watch that?
100.
Well, I hope you're not around to watch Lorraine during the week, because it means that you're missing the action here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth, and you'll never get to miss a moment of the action at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth if you subscribe to the Modus Super Series
60.
YouTube channel. And if you do that, you'll get plenty of bonus content, plenty of bonus goodies for you, including a dart swat challenge. Have you ever wondered what's happened when Bo Greet and Fallon Sherrock use each other's darts?
60.
Well, you can do that if you subscribe to the Modus Super Series YouTube channel. Have you wanted to see what happens when darts players play darts with an upside-down board? You can do if you subscribe to the Modus Super Series YouTube channel. Do you want to know how
59.
players get along when they've got a minute at the bullseye in the bullseye challenge? You can do if you subscribe to the Modus Super Series YouTube channel. Have you ever missed a moment of the action and then wondering how the action progressed? You can do by the highlights package on the
100.
Super Series YouTube channel. Subscribe now.
Now breathe. Breathe. Honestly, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Keep
40.
calm. I thought we were going to have to resuscitate him then. Yeah. If you needed resuscitating, you'd have still been down there on the
41.
floor, because I'd have had to have chatted on.
I'm sure the Super Series would go on without me.
It would never be the same,
85.
Henry.
Be much quieter. And Stanley threatening the break. Much more like it.
140.
Piles the pressure on Lorraine Hyde here.
157.
So she'll stay there. And probably again,
60.
that was unlucky for
Lorraine, you require 60.
more. 3 nicely thrown darts, not hitting the desired target.
20.
No such
Lorraine
problem
number
for
197.
Winstanley. She hit the 20, but was unfortunate on the double top. 78 left, so the 18 route and now a big 20.
57.
But it does
Lorraine,
leave
you require
Winstanley
40.
3 darts in hand to go 2-0.
Tops.
Game
Is
shot
found.
the second
Winstanley
leg.
breaks. She leads
Lorraine
2-0.
Winstanley.
A leg away from making it 2 wins and 2. She put herself onto 4
Third leg,
points.
it's Lorraine
She'd be
Winstanley
level
to
on
throw
points with
first.
Kirsi Vinakar, and the only issue that
Game on.
the Wayne Winstanley has is the fact that there's a big gap to make up for the leg difference. Vinakar, in terms of leg difference, is on 0. If Lorraine Winstanley can win this game 3-0, she'd be on -5.
85.
And so things could work in her favour because Fallon Sherrock's got Kirsi Vinakar next. And so Winstanley would be hoping for a big win from the Queen of the Palace in the next one. And
59.
things would get very interesting very quickly. And our spotter who made this prediction at the beginning of the night, well, he should be sat up in the commentary box instead because he'd be spot on.
100.
I'm not offended.
No, it'd be me that'd be given the boot, wouldn't it? It wouldn't
60.
be you.
Quite obviously. I've had to open the door to let some air in here. We were losing a lot of oxygen. Anyway, we will move on.
45.
Too much hot air.
$60.
Just felt like what's happened on night 1 has just moved into night 2 for Lorraine Hyde, whereas Lorraine Winstanley's been able to get over the opening night.
60.
Yeah, definitely. It is a very, very different setup to what we're used to. It is just made. This place is made for good darts, but you do need to get used to the venue.
45.
We've had some players come here first time and off the bat really perform well. And we've had some that really get lost here because it's so different, and that's the love of the game and the sport.
122.
And Winstanley now is a couple of darts away from the victory post. 89 points away from a 3-0 victory. It'd be her second win of the night.
60.
She'd move herself onto 4 points in the group and put herself in a real promising position. And she's going to have time on her side with Lorraine Hyde all the way back on 2-1-7. And it's all about setting up from here.
49.
It's been a real good start to the evening for Lorraine Winstanley. She knew that she was playing 2 of the first 3 games. She would have sensed and felt that she
60.
needed to win
Lorraine requires
each of those
40.
opening 2. And if she can pin the tops here, she'll do exactly that. And Lorraine is on the winning train. Winstanley beats Lorraine Hyde by 3 legs to 0. A nice embrace from the pair there. And Winstanley makes it 2 from 2. She moves into a very promising position, on to 4 points. Gonna have to make up the legs difference gap to Kirsi Vinakar, but she's put herself in position, and that's the most important thing. Coming up after the break, we are going to see Vinakar in action up against Fallon Sherrock.
So, welcome back to the Super Series, and we're here on Women's Week in Group B, and just before the break, we saw Lorraine Winstanley take a 3-0 win over Lorraine Hyde, and that was Lorraine Winstanley's second win of the evening. And here's the table and the ramifications. SHERROCK has now been caught with that defeat to Vicky Prim, and look at Lorraine Winstanley. She's now coming into the mix. 4 points there. Third is on the horizon. There's a few games to go. She still has 2 games left, one of them being against Kirsi Vinakainen. Oh no, she's played her already. That's why she's got close to her. Do apologise for that. Vicky Prim, she's got to play, and that'll be a big game for her and where she ends up. But here we go. We have Fallon v Kirsi here for you, and this is also a big game for both ladies.
Well, yes, because a win for Fallon SHERROCK here will rubber stamp her place through to tomorrow evening's final here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. Meanwhile, for Kirsi, well, she'll just give herself that little bit of breathing space from, in particular, Lorraine Winstanley just in behind, who's beginning to make a real charge on this Friday evening here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. This match 4 at 10 that we're going to bring you this evening. We know half of the lineup for tomorrow night's finale. Bo Grease confirmed her place through Group A on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday respectively. And earlier on this afternoon we saw Deta Hedman and Rhiannon Sullivan confirm their places into the showpiece occasion tomorrow night from 7:30 p.m. We'll be live with you on the Modus Super Series YouTube channel to bring you the final, to see who's going to lift that elusive crown. And you can be here as well. There's selected tickets available for tomorrow night's finale by heading over to www.dartshot.tv or by scanning that QR code you can see on your screen. It's a £2 admission fee, followed by a good deal as well on beverages inside the auditorium. Put it this way, to see 6 of the best female players in the world go toe-to-toe on a televised stage, £2 isn't a bad admission fee.
You're not going to get that anywhere else, mate, that's for sure.
80.
I would be hot-footing it down here. Get your tickets.
A couple dozen tickets left for tomorrow night's finale.
72.
Yeah, do scan that QR code. It'll take you over to the landing page. And on top of that, if you're
60.
not available tomorrow night, it does give you the option to buy tickets for any Saturday evening here at the Super Series up until the end of the next Champions Week finals night, which is Saturday, August the 31st. Fallon SHERROCK looking to be a part of that particular mix. She hits what is the first max of her evening. Leave herself on 53 after 12.
Yeah, it's her 10th of the group. Such was her evening last night.
60. Fallon, you require 53.
And just to give you an idea of how well she's played, the group have hit 19. And 10 of those being Fallon, but
Fallon SHERROCK.
that was a nice tidy up for the 53.
To throw first. Game on.
She'll be happier with that. She didn't look mighty impressed, but I'd have been happy with that.
26.
Here we go again. Is this number 20 of the group? Yes, it is.
180.
11 belonging to Fallon. Remarkable.
Well, she really is beginning to switch it on now, isn't she, SHERROCK? It was a slow start against the Swede, Vicky Prim, in match number 2.
45.
But now really beginning to motor through the gears. And even at this early stage, it looks like Vinakainen's in a world of trouble. She's not going to follow up the first max with a second in this leg.
134.
But she's going to put herself in a remarkable position. And Vinnakainen on the throw here is under all sorts of pressure, in all sorts of trouble. Currently averaging 116 is Fallon Sherrock.
55.
Had a little question coming earlier on live chat. Keeping up appearances or last of the summer wine? I say both. I think every village has got a compo and every village has got a Mrs. Bouquet.
Bucket.
Well, yeah.
$59. Fallon required 53.
Well, Fallon Sherrock's had a bestowed on her from the royal family. An MBE to her name and a 2-0 lead to her name. A break in 12, an average of 111.33. The heartbeat will be pumping quite heavily right now, but
could one easily say that normal business is being resumed?
Oh, yes.
96.
And she's a leg away now for making it through to tomorrow night's final, joining Bo Grease, joining Deta Hedman, joining Rhiannon O'Sullivan through. The three names have already got into tomorrow evening's finale, three real heavyweight names. Fallon Sherrock could add another heavyweight element towards it.
$96. $60.
You have to say that Kirsi here has been under the cosh from the get-go as Sherrock has found her mojo.
Well, it's almost as if Sherrock got out the gate very quickly and Vinnakainen has just had nothing by way of response. It's almost been suppressed by Sherrock's superb play.
45.
But these aren't bad darts that Vinnakainen is throwing. They're just not in. She's not throwing nervously. She's not throwing differently. It's just one of those games where they will not drop in to the desired target. And those are frustrating games.
The problem is with Vinnakainen, it's coming at the worst possible time because she's seeing Lorraine Winstanley come very close into the rearview mirror now. It's a 3-0 defeat for her to Fallon. She'd be on to 4 points minus 3. Lorraine Winstanley be on 4 points minus 5. To win it in style would have been the opportunity to want it on the fish for Sherrock, but she's going to come back, set up, and she's going to have 3 in hand in her favourite double 18 to go through.
I feel this is the last throw of the dice for Vinnakainen.
60. Fallon required 36.
And to send herself through to tomorrow night's final, Sherrock will be in the Saturday night showdown. Fallon is through, and she is going to join Bo Grease, Deta Hedman, and Rhiannon O'Sullivan in the big night here at Women's Week. Fallon Sherrock's through with 104.86 average, a demolition job over the Finn. Kirsi Vinnakainen, a 3-0 success for the Queen of the Palace, who will be in the big night under the church. Sherrock is through and at a canter, a 3-0 victor against Kirsi Vinnakainen. Coming up after the break, we're going to see Vicky prove she has her chance to send herself through to the finals tomorrow evening. She takes on Lorraine Hyde. Welcome back to the live lounge here in Portsmouth as we approach the halfway game of our evening session at the Modus Super Series. For the break, Fallon Sherrock confirmed her place through to the finals of a 3-0 win against Kirsi Vinnakainen, an average of 104.86, 3 out of 4 on the doubles, secured the Queen of the Palace's place through to tomorrow evening's finale. And Vicky Pruden with victory here can also seal her place through to tomorrow night if she can get the better of Lorraine Hyde, who has already lost out this evening to Lorraine Winstanley. Vicky, the only player to have beaten Fallon Sherrock in this group so far, winning her opening game against the Queen of the Palace by 3-2, holding her nerve in a last leg decider. And the Swede beat the Scot to ensure that she will join Sherrock in the Saturday night showdown.
First leg, it's Lorraine to throw first.
Indeed, that will be the plan.
Game on.
Bookies had it that way yesterday before a dart was thrown. They didn't get Group C wrong either. They had O'Sullivan and Hedman down as there too, so the predictors have been getting them right.
125.
Well, Vicky Pruden can make sure there's no danger of her being dragged into the third place quagmire, but it's interesting, we were talking
100.
during the break, Scott, about the way the fixtures land for the rest of the night, and you were intrigued to see how Lorraine's fixtures landed. Winstanley, of course, that is.
140.
For this evening?
For the rest of the night, the last two.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not going to be easy at all, although she's put herself in a position to challenge. She has Fallon Sherrock coming up as her next game.
140.
Ends her evening with Vicky, who's playing here. So a very tough order
85.
indeed. But
96.
if she didn't have those two wins behind her, they would be irrelevant. So she'd rather be having the situation in her own hands, no matter what the
56.
Pruden's left herself on tops after 12.
Hi, Jaden, in the chat room. Up the Dorset, indeed.
40.
Hope you're well, mate.
Game shot on the first leg.
14
Vicky
data
Pruden.
for Vicky Pruden to get up and running, breaking the third Lorraine Hyde and leading by
Second leg, it's
a leg
Vicky
to nil.
throw first. Game on. $62. $100. $83.
Good question for Vulcan here. How many female players are professionals? Not very many, which is something that needs to really change in the
81.
future. You know, Fallon's a professional. Bo plays professionally. Lisa plays a
40.
lot in a professional sense, but not as many as really it should be.
Yeah, I mean, we spoke about the lady with the most ranking titles yesterday, Chris Murphy and I, about, you know, Deta combining it with a job being
81.
at the post office, and it's a night job as well, and sometimes leaving, you know, early hours of the morning and then heading off to a tournament and then
85.
playing all weekend. How difficult that is, and to the amount of silverware she has off the back of that is pretty amazing. But yeah, there's not
45.
too many that are doing it as a job, I suppose. You could say that Lorraine Winstanley
95.
kind of is, because her life away from darts is, you know, being that youth kind of development officer, but and helping out finding new talent at these academies.
100. Vicky Rock,
Yes,
136.
something that needs to change, but that only comes as a result of improved prize money at tournaments, the increased exposure and opportunities,
41.
which
Lorraine
slowly
Rock,
but surely
194.
coming to fruition.
We're starting to see the ladies' fields, you know, grow at competitions slowly but surely.
And that's part of the
62. Vicky Rock,
spectrum
195.
of reasons as to one thing or another in terms of entry fees in the women's game compared to the men. The WDF have made a commitment that 50% of prize monies are distributed out to
32.
female players. It's half the
Lorraine
money the men
Rock,
earn, but
32.
there's a 70-30% split, isn't there, between male and female entries in competitions. There's a gap that the authorities do want to address. Lorraine Hyde looking to address the double eight.
Game
So that's
from the
exactly what she
second
does to
Lorraine
level this
Hyde.
contest up at one apiece. So Fallon Sherrock through. Vicky Perm a couple of legs from making it through.
Game on.
But work for the Swede to do.
$140. $140. $30.
I think the look on Lorraine Hyde's face there shows what she thought of that visit. Vicky now.
180.
140, 180. Seems that Lorraine taking her leg has really
85.
lit Prim's fire.
And how many times do we see it that sometimes just something like that just switches you back on, just keeps you alert again?
28.
I'm pleased I didn't say that.
$85. Vicky Rock, 153.
153 for Pruin to break the throw and to make it 2-1. Oh, this is superb. Double 18. That would have been magic from Pruin, but Hyde's going to have to take out the 161 here, you feel.
It's a good start. Oh, not quite to be back up the top.
130.
What a setup indeed.
18.
But will Hyde get back? Still double four.
14.
Pressure there from Lorraine Hyde has got her attempt at double 12.
Persistence paying dividends. One left.
No score. Vicky
Not found.
Corner, 4.
A shame, it was such a good setup as well. Always disappointing when you don't finish it off.
Game shot in the third leg.
And then,
Vicky
yeah, Roy, a little hand up and an apology from Vicky there, appreciating
Fourth leg, it's Vicky to throw first.
how well Lorraine had
Game
played
on.
there, but it just changed the numbers on the scoreboard. The leg still goes to Vicky.
60.
And that break of throw means now that Vicky Prum is a leg away from qualifying for tomorrow night's final, joining Fallon Sherrock, joining Deta Hedman, joining Rhiannon O'Sullivan and Bo Greaves. It means that there's just one more
60.
finals place to confirm for the rest of the night. And it looked like it'd be a two-horse race between Kirsi Vedakainen and Lorraine Winstanley to find that out. Winstanley in
41.
action next against Fallon Sherrock, who's already confirmed her place through.
That's easy for you to squeak.
I was going to say, if
49.
Lorraine wins that game, then she's in with a squeak of making it through. Well, the good news is, if Vicky wins this leg, there will be a break at the end of this leg.
44.
But anyway, it's been a cracking night so far, hasn't it, Scott?
It has.
$85. 95. $45.
The problem that Prim has is it's the level she has a spell of sort of scoring for 9 or 12 darts where it's pretty heavy scoring for 6, and then
45.
she hangs in there for 6, and then she disappears again for the next 6. It's just the consistency for her is what's causing her the problems. Her level is definitely higher than her average is showing for last night and this, but it's
98.
just she needs to find that consistency.
Well, sometimes it's just something that you find the more often you play on the stage, isn't it?
100. Lorraine record.
Yeah, very much so.
164.
That was to take us all the way to a last leg decider.
58.
Vicky here,
Vicky record,
116 to
116.
send herself through to the final tomorrow night. Can she find a way above? Yes, for double 18. And Vicky Pruitt will head through to tomorrow night's
Vicky
final.
Pruitt.
The Super Swede is amongst the Super Six. And she is in with a chance of picking up the Women's Week spoils. She's won 2 ADC Championship Tour events. She could win the Women's Week here at the Super Series. It'd be quite the doff for the cap for a superb 2024 for the Swedish thrower. She has beaten Lorraine Hyde by 3 legs to 1. That the tail of the tape from that particular contest. Myself and Scott Mitchell will head next door after this short break to discuss the evening's action so far, talk about the 2 players who made it through, and discuss the race for 3rd place, which is going to be the key battle lines for the remainder of the evening. Welcome back to the Modus Super Series, where we know 5 of the 6 players now that are going to make it through to tomorrow night's final here at Women's Week at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. Myself and Scott Mitchell have been watching every single dart in the commentary box, and this is what we've seen so far this evening. Well, Fallon Sherrock and Vicky Pruitt, they have confirmed their places through to tomorrow evening's final. It's actually Vicky who has won each of her opening 2 matches, the first player to have beaten Fallon Sherrock in this Group B scenario. Elsewhere, Lorraine Winstanley's had a superb night herself, winning each of her opening 2 matches. As I say, Scotty Dog Mitchell is alongside me here in the studio. Let's begin by talking about Fallon Sherrock. She was the first player to book her place through to tomorrow night's final, and okay, she lost that game to Vicky, but she responded very well indeed.
Yeah, very much so. We've spoken with winning 4 out of 4 last night, and then you come in with that expectation. Can you do 8 out of 8? And sometimes it can weigh like a chip on your shoulder. And it seems that disappeared when she lost that first game, and normal business was resumed back to the 100 averages, which is pretty astounding. She's had 6 matches, and 3 of those have been a 100 average in this group. So yeah, you could say normal business is now resumed.
So Fallon Sherrock is through. She's going to be joined alongside Vicky Pruitt, the Swede, who's won both her matches this evening. Hasn't had to play exactly at her best tonight, but when it's come to the key moments, she's managed to find what she's needed to find. Yeah,
she did most of the donkey work last night by getting the 3 wins, and that sets you up to come here mentally knowing you probably only need a couple of wins to get you over the line, and that can be mental. That can be, you want to come here and try and win all 4, not try and get a couple, because otherwise if they go wrong early doors, then you're chasing the evening. But that hasn't happened for her. Yes, she hasn't played her best, but she has got herself over the line both times, and now guaranteed her place in the Saturday night finals.
Which means there's just one more place yet to play for. And the players really put themselves in the picture this evening. Is Lorraine Winstanley, without a win on night 1, but this evening 2 wins from 2. It's been a case quite literally of night and day from the first evening's play for her.
Absolutely, but her big nightmare now is she's put herself in a position to maybe have a stab at that 3rd place, but she has Fallon Sherrock standing in her way in the next one. And she has the 2 qualified people that have already qualified to play next. So has she got enough confidence from the first 2 wins? We'll soon find out. Fallon and her are great mates. And we know sometimes when you play your mate, it's always a difficult game and not quite the same as if you weren't mates. So it'd be interesting to see here how they go, because Lorraine will be more relaxed maybe against Fallon than some of the other girls would be.
However, playing devil's advocate to the situation, the fact that Lorraine's playing the 2 players that made it through, could the adrenaline just naturally course out the body a little bit for Fallon and Vicky?
Possibly, but I think that, there's an issue of what position you finish in the tables and stuff on prize money means that they want to keep going just in case there's a chance of toppling one another. But no, I don't think so. When you're playing well, you just want to keep playing, and it could work the other way, that they are both now more relaxed, that they are through, and we will see them throw with a bit of freedom.
Well, let's have a look then at the table, the halfway point of the night's proceedings. As you can see, Fallon Sherrock and Vicky Pruitt both safely through on 10 points in the group. Kirsi Vinnakainen and Lorraine Winstanley, as well as Lorraine Hyde, battling out for that final spot through to tomorrow evening's finale here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. And next week here on the South Coast, we're going to be kick-starting Series 8 in earnest. It was Andreas Harrison who picked up the title a couple of weeks ago. We're going to see him in a few weeks' time, but this is the cast list for Week 1. It's headlined by the former Grand Finalist Tom Sykes. We have the 3-time Lakeside champion Martin Adams in Group A, alongside finalist Champions Week Bradley Roos. In Group B, Andy Hamilton and Justin Smith, the headline names. And as far as Group C is concerned, it's the return of the enigmatic Scot Stephen Johnson. And Tom Sykes, a player who really has come through the system in the ADCs, made it through to a final here at the Super Series, the grand final at the Super Series. He's a player now that's gone from bursting onto the scene to a player of whom now it feels like there's expectations on his shoulders when he arrives through these 4 walls. Yeah, it's not been a rapid rise for Tom. He come through the county system over the last couple of years and narrowly missed out on England, but he carried on persisting, then got picked this year.
and then he's sort of like doing the ADC stuff, and then come here and been very successful here as well, and a name to look out for here. So, you know, I like the way that he's doing it. I like the way that it's not a super rapid rise. Slow and steady wins the race, and it gives you longevity as well. So he's doing it the right way for me.
Well, we're going to see them in action on Monday morning from 9:30. And so a new series is going to begin in earnest next week. And the last series was won last week by a super Swede in Andreas Harrison.
Welcome to the party in Portsmouth here at the Modus Live Line.
They've both got the talent where they can reel off leg after leg and dish out a heavy defeats. And what a way to start the day. We're up and running here on Champions Week with a maximum.
Well, what a way to finish. A 12-dart leg.
Beautiful check out there from Cam Crabtree.
Only needs the one.
Game shot on the second leg. Darius
What were you saying about efficiency?
on the third leg.
Is that the moment that Reece Robinson comes alive in this crucial clash? Looks like he's going to go for it. And it is right next to his favourite double top. And he gets the job done at the earliest possibility. That is Cam Crabtree through.
Case not so. Harrison gets the all-important win.
Game shot on the second leg. Darius Labanowski. Game shot.
Well, Smith, is it
Darius
a 9? A long time. And that clenched fist.
Game shot.
Well, he gets the job done in the end. He's nodding in total agreement because
game shot on the fourth flag.
Just like
Darius
that.
Labanowski.
he needs the one. There you can see.
That she can unlock at any moment, but that is quality from Harrison. This would be a wake-up.
Welcome to the party in Pompey. Should be a good marker for him, and is. It was a great guide.
On the first leg, Andreas Harrison.
It's a breaker throw for Andreas Harrison.
On the second leg, Cam Crabtree.
Consecutive breaker throw, double 16 is found.
And he does lead. It's not an 11, but it's a beautiful 12, treble 17, which he gets. Bullseye for the win. Absolutely incredible by Andreas Harrison.
He's Andreas Dirty Harrison!
To be feared at the Super Series, Andreas Harrison picking up the jackpot a couple of weeks ago, and we begin the hurly-burly all over again. Monday morning, 9:30, Series 8 gets underway. We're going to see a three-time former Lakeside champion in action in Martin Adams, a former grand finalist, a man who came so close to picking up the title in Tom Sykes in there. Bradley Roos played at the previous Champions Week, as well as a number of big names. They'll be hoping to make it through to the red carpet occasion here in Portsmouth. But the full focus is on Women's Week, where we've reached the second half of our Friday night session, and it sees Lorraine Winstanley and Fallon SHERROCK go toe-to-toe. Winstanley winning her opening two matches of the night, putting herself back in the equation, back in the mix, and kicking off this game with a max. And Fallon almost followed up.
40.
Henry, you were itching to say it, weren't you? You were just itching. They're both on a 9.
Is that your impression of me, Scott?
140.
Yes, it is.
I'm off to go and sulk in a corner.
I do so love working with you, H. I really do.
I can tell. I might as well just leave. There's no coming back from that. I might as well just go home and never come back.
41.
Oh, don't do that to me. It wouldn't be fair.
Well, Winstanley has cut out the quicker of the two players, leaving herself on 140 after 9. Would love to hit a ton here to leave herself on tops after 12.
60.
Able to do that, but has left herself with a 2 darter. Forces the 128 of Sherrock to go. Treble 20 in the bullseye. Not to be, and so Winstanley should, at the very worst case scenario, get a dart at tops to take out leg 1, and it's under surmountable pressure. Sherrock is left tops after 12. 15 scored. Options here for Lorraine. 25 and 15 with the options. 15 leaves the bull. Doesn't
55.
go. And Sherrock comes back for tops of the break.
40.
Yeah, great pressure added by Sherrock, and
Fallon
13 dart leg and a break of throw
second leg, it's Fallon to throw
for
first.
Fallon Sherrock. You have to say is not a bad start. Both started this match like a racehorse.
Well, it is the Epsom
86.
Derby tomorrow. Who is going to cross the finishing line tomorrow night? Who's going to take the honours, take the spoils? We know 5 of the 6 players are going to be there. Lorraine Winstanley hoping to gate crash the party and be player number 6 through. Kirsi Vinakainen currently occupies the final qualification spot. But Sherrock here averaging 114.79 at what could be the midway point of the match. Winstanley's actually playing the best darts she has done
60
all week, but Fallon's just finding gears.
Yeah, she very much is, and look at those 2 darts. They are not badly thrown at all.
55.
It's really unlucky from her. Could say the same with Winstanley's last visit, where she hit 55.
41.
Facial expression there when she switched across to the 18s, which was the right move, but not quite executed.
100.
Great last start, particularly the way the first 2 are sat just below the treble bed, which meant she only really had a small portion towards the left-hand side terrain mat. Managed to find it, leave herself on the Shanghai, but it's going to be put under big pressure.
120.
Treble, single for the double. Sherrock climbs the ladder and she moves into a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, nice fist bump.
Lorraine to throw first.
Plain rude to do that to your mate, though, isn't it? But what a shot. Another ton plus finish for Sherrock.
You can't talk about being rude to your mate after what you did to me in the last couple of legs.
Oh, let it go, will ya?
That was Scott Mitchell
34.
who was talking there, just in case you didn't know. Well, this is some contest. Lorraine Winstanley with a couple of maxis, 99.7 average. Fallon Sherrock averaging
120.
just a shade in front of a ton. This is a superb contest. And for Lorraine Winstanley, the difference between last night and tonight, well, it's been 2 completely different parallels.
78.
Well, she mentioned in that interview with you earlier on this evening that she just felt a lot of things were different yesterday. Well, everything's changing, and Lorraine is seemingly hitting everything in sight.
Well, she's just more relaxed. She's more used to the surroundings, and of course, she's playing a friend that she's played
59.
many times, and she doesn't fear, you know. Fallon has thrown the kitchen sink at her, and Lorraine has not stopped scoring.
60.
And we should mention as well, even if Lorraine loses this game, every leg could be pivotal in terms of the leg's difference. Lose to 0 and she puts herself in a bad position. That maximum is Fallon's first of the match and applies real pressure on this 80. That's awkward. Because that could have so easily deflected into the treble. It's a dart at tops.
60. Fallon require 150.
No, it didn't. But yeah, the way that Fallon's been, this will probably go. Here we go. It's double 15. Oh, sublime from Sherrock, who turns round, and I'm sure she muttered sorry there. Wow. 3-0. What more could Lorraine Winstanley do in that situation? She's shaking her head going, I gave it my all. Lorraine loses 3-0. Yes, she loses 3-0 with a 98-4-3. Fallon Sherrock resumes normal service with 104-8-6. What a game here in the Ladies' Week from these two ladies. We're going to head on for a short break. And when we return and catch our breath, we will have Lorraine Hyde versus Kirsi Vinnikainen.
Every Saturday, we open our doors for our weekly finals night.
For a unique and intimate darts experience.
Meet the Dart Stars and even the team off the telly.
Here at our purpose-built venue in Portsmouth.
Every single Saturday evening.
Tickets can be booked via this QR code.
Or at www.dartshop.tv for a very small booking fee.
Follow us at MSS Darts on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram and TikTok.
For all the latest ticketing news.
All you need to do, log on, book, turn up, and the action gets underway from 7:30 p.m.
So what are you waiting for?
Get your tickets to the darts.
We look forward to welcoming you to the Modus Super Series very soon.
Well, that's your latest edition of ticketing news here at the Modus Super Series. And who is going to book the final ticket through to tomorrow night's final? That's the question that we are asking over the next couple of games. Kirsi Vinnikainen has seen Lorraine Winstanley slip up to Fallon Sherrock before the break. And so it means a win for her here against Lorraine Hyde would mean that the Finn would move on to 6 points. She faced Vicky in the last. And Lorraine Winstanley has one more game against Vicky to come in the next. So an interesting race has just intrigued us and intensified a little bit more. Lorraine Winstanley did, well, only one thing wrong in that previous match, and that was to play Fallon Sherrock when Fallon Sherrock was running red hot. A 3-0 win, 104.86 average. Duplicate averages for the Queen of the Palace. A couple of ton plus checkouts, 3 out of 3 on the doubles. As perfect can get.
Yeah, sensational
60.
darts from Sherrock, and she now has 4 ton plus averages in 7 matches. Pretty astounding, pretty astonishing, and pretty amazing.
140.
Bo agrees are going to be the 2 big favourites, you said, when it comes to tomorrow night's betting to go on and win the week. I'll be intrigued to see how the bookmakers come to their conclusions, though, in regards to Bo and Fallon. Kirsi hoping to be the final player through. It hasn't really quite happened for her this evening. Lost out in that first game to Lorraine Winstanley 3-2. Then was on the other end of that 104.86 from Fallon in match 4. Hasn't played since. She's midway through her evening's programme of fixtures. But you just had the sense that for Kirsi, it hasn't quite happened tonight as it has done over the last couple of days.
No, absolutely, and what a spanner it would throw in the work should Lorraine Hyde win this one.
Well, Kirsi's left herself on a bogey out. It was a missed stray with the last dart into the single one to leave herself on 159. Just go for options. 79. It's been scored.
99.
And she's going to leave herself on
142.
60 if this 142 doesn't go for Lorraine Hyde. It's not going to be checked out. And so Kirsi Venikainen is going to come back for 60 for the break and to take a 1-0 lead.
65. Kirsi requires 60. Game shot.
Shots of Venikainen beautifully pinned for the break, 1-0.
Yeah, nice and clean on that.
Second leg, it's Kirsi to
The
throw
angle of
first.
darts go in on that 60. They go in nice and flat, leaving no problems whatsoever. Having a good view of the target, which was double top on that occasion.
40.
Just coming at a time as well where Lorraine Hyde was just posing a couple of questions of Kirsi.
Yeah, she was. I think Lorraine will probably say herself she hasn't quite played her best consistently,
41.
but she has been unlucky at times as well. And you need all the stars to line up on these evenings to get the best out of yourself. You need a bit of luck, you need a bit of skill, and you need a bit
60.
of belief. And she hasn't had all 3 at the same time in any of her games at the end of this week here in the women's series. But
39.
I do have to reiterate again after our last game what a fantastic addition this is to the Live Lounge, the women's week. It's just super stuff for us to watch, and I think everybody's enjoyed
83.
this week, and hopefully we'll see another.
Yeah, certainly an appetite for there to be more. There's definitely going to be another all-female event here at the Live Lounge in 2024. The ADC Championship Tour Finals will take place here in the autumn. I think it's around about November time that's going to take place. The top 8 players in the ADC Women's Championship Tour Order of Merit at the end of 16 events will qualify their way through
41.
to the finals, which take place at the Live Lounge later on in the year. Currently, the players in the top 8 seedings. Vicky Perm leads the way, number 1 in that order of merit with 288 points. Fallon, SHERROCK, Angela Kirkwood, Deta Hedman, Gemma Hayter, Eleanor Cairns, Lorraine Hyde, and Samantha Curtin company complete the top 8 players in that particular order of merit, and they'll make their way through to the live lounge later on this year. 8 of the 16 events have taken place. The final 8 will take place in Aylesbury.
100.
And a purpose-built venue there. The men's and women's tour will take place concurrently for the rest of the year. And you can, if you are a player that's been inspired by this week and want to give that particular tour a go, head over to dartsatlas.com where you can enter those tour events. And who knows, you win one of them and do well in the latter half of the tour season. We could see you here at the Modus Live Lounge competing for the Tour Championship title, which Deta Hedman's looking to defend. She picked up the
60.
trophy in 2023, beating Samantha Curtin 4-0 in that particular final. Both players on ton plus outs here in leg 2. Hyde had first poke of the 136.
60.
Isn't going to take that. And so Venikainen 117 for a 2-0 lead.
There's a little chat going on in the chat room about women competing with the men over consistency and who has the consistency most. I think over this best of 5 format, the women can compete with any men without a doubt. It's when it gets lengthened in format, the women are not quite as consistent, probably, apart from the likes of Lisa, Bow and Fallon, of course.
Well, it's all about popping up that next level. Now, we know that the likes of Bow, the likes of Lisa, the likes of McCoo, Fallon, as you mentioned, they can sustain it and play at a high level for a long course. It's about bringing that next level of player up, and by giving them the opportunities like this here at the Super Series, the exposure, the experience, the chance under the lights, the better chance you have of doing that.
And also, I think they have a better chance at set play as well. Where the sets are best of 5. Just said they can compete at best of 5. So where the sets are, they can sort of like lose a set and then start again, compete again over the best of 5 again. And I think that's where we've seen Fallon's success at the World Championships. And let's not forget, Makuri Suzuki almost won a match there too. So it's just that's proof in the pudding that the girls can live with the guys over that set format. It suits them as well.
Well, the thing is now, there's no more gimmicks with it. There's no more talk as things were even 5 years ago. The next phase and the next stage now is making sure more female players get the opportunities, more female players have the chance to further their growth and their potential. But let's not forget about the context of this particular match, because if Lorraine Hyde can win this match, you'd have 3 players all on 4 points, and then Lorraine Winstanley would be in the box seat. She takes on Vicky Pruitt next. If she wins that one, then she'd be on 6 points and would then force Kirsi Venikainen to beat Vicky in the last game. Of course, that's with a Hyde victory here.
There's
a little more chat in the chat room about the Modus Super Series going on tour, and would it go to Manchester? The issue we have there is the amount of equipment we have here to produce what we have. It's not portable, so it's very much a fixed asset here in Portsmouth, and with the gantries of lights and cameras and cabling and the work that's been going on in here at Portsmouth behind the scenes to get it to the point of where it is, it would be very difficult. It's not a mobile setup, so I don't see the Super Series in its current state moving around the country. Do you, Henry?
Not just yet. I think it's found its home here in Portsmouth, but that's not to say in the future that maybe an odd one-off week where we move away as Hyde looks at the bullseye for an 83 out
Lorraine
to put herself 2-1 in front and to put herself a leg away, and this really would be a spanner in the works for Kirsi Vinnakainen.
Game on.
There is no panic for Vinnakainen. It's just a hold of throw. I say just. It was an amazing hold of throw. Let's not mess around. That was a lovely bullseye.
60.
And maybe Lorraine Hyde, like Lorraine Winstanley, is now starting to settle down here.
But you get the sense it's going to have to be a 3-1 win for Lorraine Hyde because of the legs difference. As things stand, Vinnakainen 4 points -4. Lorraine Winstanley 4 points -8. And if Lorraine Hyde was to win this game, it's currently 4 -10. But if she can win this by 3 legs to 1, it'd be 4 points -9. Now, because it's first to 3, players would only have 1 game left. The worst case of Vinnakainen is she'd move on to -7. Lorraine Hyde actually would then be able to move on to -7 with the 6 points.
60.
Lorraine Winstanley would be in a very good position. Remember, she was bottom of the table at the beginning of the night. Without a point to her name, she could suddenly really put herself in the picture. But she has to beat Vicky Permutations in the next one. Well, she's going to have to beat Vicky Perm in the next one. It's as simple as that. Because of the legs difference.
Lorraine Winstanley, bottom of the table overnight, and she's done a 98 average today. It just, yeah.
45.
This place just does special things here. The Live Lounge.
Let's not forget that Kirsi has an average 10 points superior to that of Lorraine, but it's Hyde's timing 2 from 2 on the doubles, which is seen at 2-1 in front. That bullseye on the back of the 83 check, how key could that be for both parties?
58.
The thing was, you could tell by the look on her face, you thought it was going to go. You really did think it was going to go as she approached that last dart.
What's they say about confidence breeding confidence?
'83.
Now, I think it kind of looks like she's set to take this match all the way to a last leg decider.
41. Kirsi required 90.
It caused a problem there. There were 2 low darts, and then she tried to sort of loop the last one up and over and then went wayward.
Treble for double.
Game shot on the 4.
And the 90 is taken by Vinnakainen to square this match up at 2 apiece. And so this really is a seismic leg in proceedings. If Lorraine Hyde can win it, it mean that the bottom 3 players would all be on 4 points. But if Vinnakainen can find a break in this last leg, she'd move on to 6 points, forcing Lorraine Winstanley to get the better of Vicky Perm in the next. But what a start that is from Lorraine Hyde. Ton 40.
Yeah, absolutely. A beautiful start.
Is the pressure beginning to really get to Kirsi Vinnakainen here? She's not felt comfortable at any stage tonight.
No, she hasn't. She's been a shadow of herself from last night, and yeah, maybe she's starting to read the situation.
60.
She's going out the back maybe, and in the back room there's a computer there with the live table in the practice room, and I wonder if she's starting to have a good look at that live table and starting to think, can't keep looking backwards over your shoulder, you can only look ahead.
Well, she must feel like the walls really are closing in on her. And for matter of fact, early on this week, she was deep in the mire in Group A. Trina Gulliver was making a real charge in behind to take the last spot in Group B from her. Kirsi was able to hang on, but it feels like possibly a different story on this Friday night. Lorraine Hyde is going to have time from this 1-6-1 to get the job done, and it would mean that we have got a grandstand finish to proceedings. Remember, this is Lorraine Hyde's last match is against Fallon Sherrock. Lorraine Winstanley will play her last game next against Vicky Pruitt.
And Vicky Pruitt has a big say in where this last place goes because she has to play 2 of the contenders.
Time on her side, Lorraine high, because of that poor start in the scoring phase of Inakainen. It's a big score, but it could be a case of too late.
Require 109.
Lorraine has another chance coming. And the 109 go to just put herself in the picture.
49.
Inakainen way back on 257. It has been one of her most awful scoring legs of the week.
So then for the match and to give us a real grandstand finish in this Group B on a night where it looked like it was going to be plain sailing for the top 3. Pruitt and Sherrock have confirmed their places through. For the race for P3,
40.
Could have taken another turn there, but she's going to get another turn high to get the job done. Well, how about this for pressure?
Kirsi must be thinking, why now? Why now?
139.
It applies to scoreboard pressure.
20.
But Lorraine Hyde has an opportunity now on double 10 to get the job done, to complete the win and to give us a real grandstand finale. In the race for P3 in the group, it's relief in the end for Lorraine Hyde. You can tell the disappointment on the face of Kirsi Vinnakainen. A 3-2 win for the Scot means that 3 players are now all positioned on 4 points in the group. It's still just about advantage Kirsi Vinnakainen, but the 2 Lorraines, Winstanley and Hyde, are very much hot on her heels. Winstanley is out to bat for the last time this evening against Vicky Pruitt. After the break, Lorraine Hyde will take on Fallon Sherrock in her last game before Kirsi Vinnakainen finishes off the night's proceedings against Vicky Pruitt. We're going to watch Winstanley up against the Swede after this short break. Welcome back to the Modus Super Series, where we have a real race on our hands for the third and final position through to tomorrow evening's finale here at the Super Series during Women's Week. Before the break, Lorraine Hyde set us up a grandstand finale. Got to the better of Kirsi by 3-2. We're going to watch Lorraine Winstanley and Vicky Pruin go head-to-head here in our 8th duel of the evening. We don't want any slip-ups in this particular match, and in fact, Lorraine Winstanley can't afford a trip-up in this particular contest. If Vicky can beat her, well, it'll be the final kick in the coffin for Winstanley's hopes of making it through to tomorrow night's final. It'd then be down to Vinnikainen and Hyde for the final spot through, and the Finn would be in a tremendous position with Lorraine Hyde to face Fallon SHERROCK in her last match.
Vicky to throw first.
However,
game on.
Lorraine Winstanley averaged 98.43 and got no change in her previous match. Lost out to Fallon SHERROCK by 3-0.
85.
Vicky has beaten Fallon this evening, but I think it's fair to say that Vicky hasn't played at the high level that we saw from her during yesterday evening's play, which may just give Lorraine a real opening, because Winstanley is improved night and day from the first evening, it's fair to say.
83.
Yeah, she sure has, and we have to say that all the ladies that have been involved this week have played at a high standard somewhere or another to be here. It's all about getting used to the surroundings from here, and I'm very respectful to all the ladies that are here. There are a few that were unable to come. We spoke about that with Chris Murphy. Some were invited and had other engagements, and maybe next time round we will see a few new faces.
85.
If another Women's Week should happen, which I'm sure it will. It's been very successful this week, and all the ladies have given their all. And that's what's made it interesting, and you can't always play your best as well, and that happens no matter who's here at the Super Series.
And the other thing as well, as we mentioned, for a lot of, well, apart from Trina, Bo, Fallon, they're all debutants in this particular competition, and as you mentioned, it's such a different proposition to other comps, so it does take a little bit of time to get used to, get accustomed to. But I think you're right. I think at some point down the line, may not be straight away, but maybe some point next year, I think we'll see a second Women's Week here at the Super Series.
121. Vicky requires 72.
Pruin 72 to take a 1-0 lead. 18.
Game shot in the
clinical.
First leg.
Absolutely clinical from the Swede. And that was the last thing that Lorraine Winstanley wanted to see.
Second leg, it's Lorraine to throw first. Game on.
And that was for a hold of throw.
$140.
The one thing I will say about Lorraine Winstanley, and all the time I've known her, she's not one of those that throws the towel in, ever. You have to hit that last dart at the
41.
double to get her. She will continue to battle, as most players do. Her battling qualities is one of her assets, that's for sure.
Well, Lorraine Winstanley is the only player to have played a World Championship final and have a 100% record on the doubles, because
83.
When she got dismantled by Mikuru Suzuki in the 2019 World Final, she had a couple of attempts at double and hit both of them. I'm sure that she'll love for us to remind her of that particular occasion. But that was
55.
part of the time when she really was at the peak of her powers. She was the world #1, won the World Masters, made a World Final. It was a real good time for Lorraine Winstanley.
60.
Yeah, Mikuru has been here, hasn't she? During a normal week. Playing in amongst the guys. Obviously, the travel implications from such a distance is usually we grab those sorts of players when they're already here, maybe at the women's
36.
series or
Lorraine requires
something like that over the
71.
weekend and try to make their trip worthwhile.
Yeah, logistics just didn't quite work out for Kura this time. Totso and Stanley to level this game up.
51.
Doesn't go, but it's fair to say that Lorraine's level has stayed the same. But Vicky has had that little bit of a dip again. She's going to have to find a way of evading that tomorrow in the final.
Lorraine required 20.
Because she's going to provide some questions for the field. Lorraine looking to answer the question of, can she hit double 10? The answer is
10.
no. But she didn't have to answer the question right here, right now.
No, but 10 can be awkward depending on what Vicky scores here.
100. Lorraine required 10.
Straight for double 5. That shouldn't be the world's worst guide. But just goes too far low. Now down for double 2. Things could get awkward.
In that situation, you throw that second dart, trying to go under the first dart. And sometimes you just take the beans off the throw and you don't throw it with quite the pressure.
Lorraine required 4.
But she comes back now at this double 2.
Game shot on the
Makes
second
no
leg.
mistake this
Lorraine
time
wins
round.
Stanley.
And so we have a level game at
The leg, it's Vicky to throw
1
first.
apiece.
Game.
Lorraine's averages cascaded down as a result of those 6 missed darts and a double in their previous
60.
leg.
She does have 50 plus caps for England, does Lorraine, and all the experience that comes with that.
121.
Course tonight,
60.
not just the action here at the Modus Super Series, but darts heads stateside tonight. The World Series of Darts is US Darts Masters, kicks off at the Madison Square
85.
Garden in New York City. Do you know what? I was watching the news tonight, Scott, before I made my way in. The news at 6. And
85.
I'll tell you what, there was loads of TV cameras and news crews in New York City. They must have heard that Luke Little is playing this evening. And apparently something else happened as well.
80.
Am I supposed to be privy to that information, or I was probably here yeah, I was here grafting and
94.
sorting out my stats for this evening.
$140.
140 for Lorraine, threatening the breaker throw of Vicky Purim. For that 140 in return,
Requires 75.
piles of pressure on. This has been a good exchange. Great dart, double 12. Double 6.
63.
Doesn't go, and this could hurt
Vicky
Lorraine if
requires
Vicky can take
72.
out the 72. 20 in tops. Tots. But is that awkward? That looked very
32.
awkward. That flight was in the
Lorraine
way.
required 12.
Well, she's had 2 darts to break the throw here, Winstanley. She's going to have 3 more in hand. She'll be hoping to do it in 2.
Game shot on
And
the
she
third
does
leg.
that. Use the
Lorraine
first
wins
dart
Stanley.
beautifully as a marker. It is a breaker throw. A little
Fourth leg,
sip
it's
of
Lorraine
water.
to throw first.
Calm the adrenaline down, and
Game on.
here we go. This is how the live table looks right there on your screens.
For the first time tonight, Lorraine Winstanley's in the top 3. That's the first time that's happened this evening.
140.
But it may well be at the most crucial time. When Portsmouth Football Club won Sky Bet League 2 back in
100.
2017, they were top of the league table for 12 minutes.
And that was just at the end of the season, was it?
Absolutely.
43.
Yeah, you're right. There's no point in being at the top. We've seen people trailing in world finals of the darts and then
100.
end up winning.
The best example is Moreno Blom in a Group A, where he lost each of his first 4 games, won 10 of his last 11, got through on 20 points, but wasn't top until the very last game. And he didn't even play the last game. He'd won. He needed Wesley Harms to beat Lee Cox 4-0.
45.
Harms beat Cox 4-0, and Moreno Blom won the group. It's not where you start, it's where you finish in this format.
59.
Yeah, a couple of messages coming in on the live chat. Yep, Lorraine has turned in to a beast tonight on the board.
140.
She definitely has upped her game. There's no two ways about that. And yes, EWR 96 up the gore.
81. Vicky Rock,
But that slip for the last dart, how costly could that be? Put in 116. She's already had one of these tonight, but she's not going to add a second to the collection there.
84.
And so Lorraine Winstanley to put herself into provisional P3 wants 97.
Treble 18 may stay there at treble 18 or treble 14. Swaps
37.
across.
Vicky requires 32.
Vicky hopes that this double 16 goes in. Lorraine hopes that there's a miss, but there's not a miss. And we go all the way to a last leg decider. This is a key and crucial exchange.
Fifth and final leg, it's Vicky to throw first.
It's game on or game over as far as Lorraine Winstanley is concerned. She wins this leg, she moves into provisional P3 with Kirsi Venikainen taking on Vicky Perman the last,
85.
and Lorraine Hyde taking on Fallon Sherrock next. But if Winstanley loses this leg, then she is out, and it'll be down to just 2 players for that final position through.
This is now the situation
95.
where you feel that Vicky is the one under no pressure whatsoever. She's guaranteed to be through. She has the throw. Everything is going right for her. She shouldn't be throwing tight at all here.
41.
All the pressure on Lorraine Winstanley. Sometimes it's lovely to play under pressure. It gets the adrenaline pumping. It keeps you concentrating. And what a time to hit a 180.
We are showing why she is a former world number 1.
100.
And now potentially 6 starts away from moving herself onto 6 points. What a response this has been from the night 1 disappointments for Lorraine Winstanley.
100.
Maximum followed by a ton. A 95 to start, leads herself on 126 after 9.
30. Lorraine require 126.
6 darts for 6 points. What a night it's been for Lorraine Winstanley.
39.
But that slip we saw in the last leg proved costly and vital. Is it going to be a case of rinse and repeat? Her second dart has strayed into the 1, as does the third.
And
so Winstanley's got away with it to a certain extent. And she's going to come back for 87 to pick up her 3rd win of the evening. To put herself 3rd in the table. And to give herself a great chance. A chance which maybe didn't look apparent at the beginning of the night. But when she
47.
returns, she is going to return for 3 darts at tops to complete the job.
It's just now all about how much pressure will it be under.
It's not quite happening in this contest for Vicky Purge. She's got 1 more to go against Kirsi Venikainen.
13. Lorraine requires
Tops
40.
for the match for Lorraine Winstanley for her 3rd win of the night, for 6 points on the night. He'll put her into 3rd position. And 3rd position she finds herself in. Lorraine Winstanley has given herself a fantastic opportunity of making it through. She started the night without a point to her name. 3 wins from 4, and she now finds herself in that provisional P3 position. She beats Vicky Pruitt by 3 legs to 2. Lorraine Hyde can also move on to 6 points in the group. She takes on Fallon SHERROCK after this short break.
Hang on a minute. Wow! Oh my God! Well, that's £100 down the drain already. Itching to hit the 180. He's gone for the maximum.
'18 for the bull. Bull.
53.
No, he said bull. That's a great first start from Adam. Oh, look at this. He's going to leave Scape.
Oh, can you believe it? That is unbelievable. Get match darts to put his team into the final. And through to the final they go. Charlie Murphy has hit the match-winning dart on both occasions. Number 4 for the title.
Please show your appreciation for the winner of the Influencer Pairs event, George Scaife and Adam Lipscomb.
He seems to be out, that's what he is. Charlie Murphy. A couple more visits yet. We're not going to need that.
Oh, Bosh.
Pie Face is through. He gets
And
there
he's
in the end.
absolutely buzzing.
It was a game that Pie Face dominated throughout.
Welcome back to the Modus Super Series, where we have approached the final game for Fallon SHERROCK and Lorraine Hyde's campaign. And as far as Lorraine and Fallon are concerned, Fallon will be definitely through to tomorrow night's final. Lorraine Hyde is definitely out now. That win for Lorraine Winstanley means that even if Lorraine Hyde was to win this match 3-0, she'd move on to 6 points minus 7, which would be the same as Lorraine Winstanley, but Lorraine Hyde would only pick up 11 legs in the legs 1 column, and Lorraine Winstanley has 12 in that particular bracket. And so actually, what could end up being the determining factor in proceedings would have been the solitary leg that Lorraine Winstanley picked up against Lorraine Hyde last night. Hyde winning 3-1, Winstanley picking a leg up, and it could be that leg, which is, well, it is that leg that has stopped Lorraine Hyde from making her way through to tomorrow evening's finale. It just shows you that every single leg in a Group B campaign is pivotal.
Yeah, absolutely. And we remember the game yesterday that Lorraine Hyde was on a bit of a towels in, or a bit of a hiding, so to speak, with a 107 from Fallon, and there was a 160 shot out in there to boot as well.
$100.
As far as Fallon SHERROCK's concerned, she recovered very well from a poor opening
96
performance against Vicky Pruitt, where she lost 3-2, averaging the mid-70s, but then followed that up with back-to-back 104 averages, well, back-to-back 104.86 averages, exactly the same average, mirroring averages in each of her last 2 games. And since that match as well against Vicky, she's only missed a dart. 1 dart and a double. She's had a couple of ton plus checkouts. And is 6 out of 7 on the doubles.
60. $100. Lorraine require 156.
Well, this would be some way to kickstart the 156. Not to be. So Sherrock's going to return for the 106.
45. Fallon require 106.
Triple 18. Doesn't go, so Hyde will return
58.
for the Nelson.
Lorraine require 111. $95. Fallon require 48.
So pressure in the 48 of Fallon with that 95, but we know she loves double 16.
Game shot in the first leg.
Yeah, proof is in the
Fallon
pudding.
Sherrock.
So the Queen of the Palace takes
Second
the
leg is Lorraine
opening
to throw
leg.
first. Game on.
Just does have the sense, this contest, of a game between 2 players that sort of know
97.
that their fate has been sealed and been sealed for quite a while now.
$96. $60. $100.
Don't forget that a new series at the Modus Super Series kickstarts on Monday morning from 9:30. The former runner-up Tom Sykes is going to be in action alongside Martin Wolfie Adams.
138.
Bradley Roos, the Dutch player who made it through to the last Champions Week, will also be in action to kickstart what should be a fine series, Series 8.
112,
not to be, and so Sherrock's got a break chance, 110.
Fallon require 110.
Tops.
70. Lorraine require 40.
So 40 apiece left for these 2.
Game shot on the
Lorraine
second
Hyde.
leg. Lorraine Hyde.
Smack bang centre. You couldn't have walked up there and put that in any more central.
Third leg, it's Fallon to throw
Holds
first.
on to her throw.
Game on.
Sherrock did get a dart at it to break.
$100.
If I had to force an answer out of you, Scott, and I had said out of Bo and Fallon who would go in the favourite, who would it be in your
60.
mind?
Because she won Group A, I think I would have to say Bo, to be honest. She's going to be rested. Sometimes you'd rather play,
56.
but of course she was here last week as well. And I think that she would need a couple of days for sure. Could work in her favour, but
45.
Fallon's one I know that loves to continue to play and loves the practice, and she said the first 3 days here were good practice for her, so she'll be playing 6 days in a row,
42.
and she'll see that as an advantage to herself. So it's going to be all on the night tomorrow, and I, for one, cannot wait.
100.
We're going to have to wait, because we're going to kickstart the action at 7:30 tomorrow night on the Super Series YouTube channel.
95.
It's the only final worth watching tomorrow, because we know Real Madrid are going to beat Borussia Dortmund tomorrow. So don't don't bother with that.
45.
We all know what's going to happen. Jude Bellingham's going to put on a masterclass. He's going to show that he is him.
60.
Vinicius possibly will do a bit of damage as well. And Borussia Dortmund in Marco Reus's farewell game will see tears down the bottom of the royal box as he loses. And then he has to flaunt around North London with a silver medal.
Fallon require 148.
Another. Double 14 for 148.
120.
Would have been absolutely sublime.
97. Fallon required 28. Game shot in the third leg. Fallon Sherrock.
Sherrock goes 2-1 to the good. Well, she's won 22 legs in this group, Fallon Sherrock. She's conceded just 5 over the course of 2 days. Such has been the air and
100.
level of dominance that the Queen of the Palace has exuded in this particular group.
Yeah, 3 of those legs she conceded was tonight to Vicky Prim. Obviously 1 to Lorraine Winstanley last night.
100.
I'll just have a quick look. I can't find the other one tonight.
58. $60.
Well, it just has the feeling
57.
Fallon kickstarted with a slow performance. In the middle, very good, and then towards the end has just tapered down. I mean, it shouldn't mean much anyway because she's already
60.
through, but Fallon's one of those players that does like to lay down the gauntlet for the rest of the field. Well, this is more like it.
121.
Didn't quite get the release right on the last dart there for the 180, but puts herself in the shot window.
100.
Now, Lorraine High favoured to take this game to a deciding leg. However, here comes the Sherrock counter-attack.
135. Lorraine require 81.
Now forces the 81 to go. Double 16.
65.
And so Sherrock comes back.
Fallon requires 70.
Tops it is then for the win.
Game.
And there it is. It's a 3-1 win for Fallon Sherrock. Lorraine Hyde succumbed to the Fallon Sherrock's pressure in that one. And Lorraine Hyde had the higher average in that one with 82.20. But it's Fallon Sherrock goes through. 3-1 for her. She's had a good evening. We're going to head into a short break. And we'll be back on the other side with Fallon Sherrock and Henry.
Welcome back to the Modus Super Series, where we're joined alongside Fallon SHERROCK here in the studio. Fallon, congratulations through to tomorrow night's final. How would you assess on this evening overall?
I'm quite happy. You know, I had a couple of good 100 averages, and I'm like, yes. So if I can keep that up, you know, I've had one defeat tonight, and I think even that last game, I think Lorraine played really well. So yeah, no, I'm happy just to get through tonight.
And the fact that you obviously lost that first game to Vicky, but you didn't let panic stations set in at all, did you?
No, I think because obviously I had more games, it weren't be all end all. Whereas, normally before I'm stressing out and stuff, but I just kind of went in the back room, sat down and just kind of chilled out, and then was like, right, you still got 3 games, you can correct this. Don't let one bad game kind of affect your night.
You're the most experienced campaigner when it comes to this group. So did that actually stand you in fine fettle and respect that maybe other players may not have known this round robin format as well as yourself, but you know how to regroup into proceedings?
I definitely think it helped because obviously, like you said, I've done Group B multiple times now, so I kind of knew what to expect, and it's just kind of simplifying it for me. So I'm thinking usually I'll win 2 games a night. It usually does the job. So and then I'm trying to help everyone in there, going, don't stress out just because you haven't won, you can still get through. And I'm showing everyone the table. I'm like, don't worry. But I do think it does help, playing before and then coming this week with everyone else that's not, knowledgeable to it all.
Fair to say your performance of the night was the game against Lorraine Winstanley. A couple of ton-plus checkouts in there as well. 104 average against Lorraine, who herself was averaging 98 in that encounter.
Yeah, no, I'm really happy with that one, to be fair. I don't think Lorraine's pretty happy with me, but no, Lorraine played really well tonight, and, in that game averaging 98, and I knew I had to take out some big shots to even, get legs off her because she was playing that well. So, yeah, no, I'm really happy, especially with 150.
And so, into tomorrow evening's finale here at Women's Week for yourself. Big opportunity for you, big opportunity for everybody, and it should be in front of a fairly good crowd as well. This is a real big night, isn't it, tomorrow evening?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's the first time you've done a Women's Week, and everyone's going to see what all the women can do, and I think, the ones that have got through, it's the less stress trying to get through now, playing all week. So you'll probably see them play better because, they're more relaxed. They've got through to finals tonight, and they'll probably showboat what they can do. And I'm really hoping everyone just kind of plays their top game tomorrow.
Just finally, what's been the feedback this week amongst the players as to this week? You've been involved in 2 groups, 2 different types of atmospheres. What's the general feedback been with the players?
Oh, they've loved it. They've loved all of this. There's been, they've kind of taken a while to adapt to it because obviously we're not used to all of this. It's the quietness they can't get over and stuff like that. But yeah, no, they've absolutely loved it. They're hoping obviously it happens again, and, they all get invited back. And they've just genuinely enjoyed themselves. And we don't usually all sit together either, so it's nice to kind of speak to everyone, get to know everyone, and we've just enjoyed every week. Every day of this week.
Well, it's been a fantastic week so far for yourself. Good luck tomorrow evening, Fallon. Congratulations tonight. One more game to go, and that's going to confirm our final place through to the final. Lorraine Winstanley currently occupies 3rd place in the table, but that could all change as Kirsi Venäläinen takes on Vicky Prum. I'm going to hot foot next door to commentate on all the action alongside Scott Mitchell.
Yeah, thanks, Henry. Yeah, we've just had it all summed up for us. It's kind of a little bit winner takes all here. Should Vicky Prum win here, it will end Kirsi Venäläinen's week at the Ladies' Week. It will see Lorraine Winstanley's late charge be not in vain.
It's Kirsi
but should Kirsi win this one,
game on.
Her leg difference will be better, and she'll be on the same points as Winstanley, but with a better leg difference, she will go through into that 3rd spot.
28.
And you have to say tonight, it's all been in Kirsi's hands, and she's lost her first 3 games, and it's the 2 Lorraines that have been the problem for her. She's lost 3-2 on both occasions to them. We did say at the top of the show, we felt that for Kirsi, her night was going to be dictated by those 2 games, and that's exactly what's happened.
I just wonder whether Panic Station could creep in for the Finn. It's an all Scandinavian battle to round off our Group B proceedings. But if there's a little bit of a crumb of comfort for Kirsi, Vicky has been playing to the levels that we saw from her on night 1. And that may just give her a little bit of a glimmer. She also has the darts in this contest. How key that could be, we're about to find out. But you just get the sense that this is going to be a match which is going to be riddled with nerves.
41.
Yeah, particularly for Kirsi because of the way that she put herself in a position to...
95.
I mean, we said at the start of the night we thought it was going to be the 3 that were there, the top 3 at the start, and I'm not saying she's given it away, but you know, it was those 2 games against the 2 Lorraines who were at the bottom of the table.
41.
They did what they needed to do to give themselves a chance, and it's now Lorraine Winstanley will be sat in the players' room probably awaiting
100.
her fate. Absolutely nothing she can do about it. She just has to sit and watch.
Yeah, this is the horrible bit, isn't it? Where you've got absolutely no control of proceedings. And that everybody else
100.
will tell you what the permutations are, but you just got to sit there and suffer. She is the biggest Vicky Pruin fan in the world right now, is Lorraine Winstanley. And she'd be happy enough for that last visit. The 99 leaves the Swede on 96 to take out the first leg. Vinnikainen looking to leave herself on something makeable herself. Needs to find a trouble to leave herself on a 2-darter. Unable to do so. And so the early ascendancy moves in the favour of Vicky Pruin in this first leg. And she's going to have 2 in her hand, a double 18. Double 9. Inside.
87. Kirsi require 131.
2 break chances that come and gone. Vinnikainen 131.
Yeah, the awkward 1-3-1.
91. Vicky
1-3-2 and 1-3-0 are 2 easier shots to hit. It's double 4 now for Vicky.
5.
Dragged inside.
Kirsi require 40.
And so Vinnikainen comes back for Totsu in a leg that at a point she didn't look like she was in. Pruin has spurned 4 chances. Vinnikainen's going to have 3 in hand. Can she find a way? No.
20.
And so Pruin's going to come back for 3 more at double 2 to take out the opening leg against the throw. This must be horrid for Lorraine Winstanley right now.
No score.
Yeah, horrid indeed.
Kirsi required 20. Game shot in the first leg. Kirsi Vinnikainen.
Grappling the first leg from the grasp of Vicky Pruin. Vinnikainen 1-0 to the good.
Game on.
I believe the technical term for that one is a grinder. Ground that one out.
100.
Pruin just has to evaporate that first leg from her mind.
$82.
Our final game of the evening.
100.
Our final qualification match. The next game that we play will be in front of a crowd on Saturday night. To paraphrase that song, it'll be Saturday night at the Modus.
$100.
Ton for Vicky. She made all the scoring moves in leg 1, but was unable to complete the leg.
100.
Vinnikainen has piled the pressure on Pruin here. Needs a treble, you feel.
60.
Couldn't find one. penny for the thoughts of Lorraine Winstanley right now.
Has to go downstairs now. Oh, what a pickup as well.
Vicky, 141.
Vinakainen here is on for a potential 40 data to break the pro and throw and to move 2-0 to the good. Double 16, interesting, because their play has been tops throughout the duration of the week.
10.
Cannot be found.
You require 81.
Peru expects the big number there.
46. Kirsi requires 32.
So double 16 for 2-zip lead.
Game
in it goes.
Kirsi
and Kirsi Vinakainen is now a leg away.
The leg, it's Kirsi to throw first. Game on.
Lorraine Winstanley is hoping for the comeback. Vinakainen now throwing to send herself through. She's actually got 2 chances with the darts to get into tomorrow night's final.
Now is not the point to try and defend your 2-0 lead. You've got to continue
85.
with all-out attack. Be positive.
That's just opened up the door a little bit, that 60 turn, but just feels like Vicky Pruitt's motor is just beginning to reach the empty point now. And it gives the Finn the chance to cross the finishing line.
140.
Find the checkered flag. There's been some great Finnish racing drivers over the years. Kimi Räikkönen, Valtteri Bottas.
85.
Okay, so be hoping this leg is finito, and with it, the final place in the finale.
100.
It'd be by a thin margin.
Because you require 141.
Is this the finish for the Finn to send herself through? Pruitt's going to have to take the 153.
$105. Vicky require 100.
Well, nicely set up there from Kirsi.
$90.
Not to be for Prum.
And so this to complete the Super 6 for Saturday night here at Women's Week. To finish the job. 99. Vinakainen is the victor, and she is the final player through. She gets the better of Vicky Pruitt by 3-0 to stave off the Friday night assault of Lorraine Winstanley towards finals night. She is through. She's had the confirmation, and she can't believe it. She cannot believe it. Just look at what it means for Kirsi Vinakainen. A huge achievement for her. And she makes it through to finals night. You could tell how much it meant for the Finnish thrower. That the turn of the taper. 3-0 win for Kirsi Vinakainen. Tears of joy for her. Despair for Lorraine Winstanley. And so we're going to take a short break. When we return, myself and Scott will be talking through all the action. Welcome back to the Modus Super Series. We've had a dramatic end to proceedings here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. Myself and Scott Mitchell have been watching every single game in the commentary box. This is what we've seen this year. It was been a dramatic affair in Group B. It started with a win for Lorraine Winstanley against Kirsi Vinnakainen, 3-2. Winstanley would go on to win 3 of her 4 matches this evening, but that win for Kirsi Vinnakainen before the break has seen the Finn through 3-0 against Vicky Poom, and you could see how much it meant to her as she crossed the finishing line. Tears of joy for the Finnish throw. As I say, Scott Mitchell has been watching every single dart in the commentary box. Well, let's begin with the game that we've just seen before the break. Kirsi Vinnakainen making her way through, holding it together in that final game against Vicky Poom.
Yeah, showed massive character. I think we watched her throw this evening, and after that game with Winstanley earlier in the evening, she's kind of been chasing and hoping. She went out there that time and just made sure of the job, and Vicky didn't play her best, but that wasn't down to Kirsi's issues. She had to go and get the job done, and when the doubles came her way, she did the job.
Have to spare thought for Lorraine Winstanley. Complete contrast from night 1 into night 2. She played superbly well. And, well, the game that kind of cost it for her was the best performance of the night, 98 average against Fallon.
Yeah, absolutely. She might be ruined a little bit yesterday, but, you know, on that first night, she was getting used to the surroundings and used to the quietness in here. And she was one of the players that hadn't been here before and maybe took a day to settle. If she could have got one of those games yesterday, it would have been a different outcome, I feel.
So Lorraine Winstanley out of proceedings. 2 players that are through are Fallon Sherrock and Vicky Poom. They did so early on in the night's proceedings. Let's talk about Fallon Sherrock. Now, for her tonight, 2 real good performances. 2 that maybe she'd be a little bit unhappy with, which were a little bit indifferent. But overall, she looks in very good stead ahead of tomorrow night's final.
Yeah, absolutely. She showed that she can... you know, she had that first game and bounced back from it immediately with 2 ton pluses. And then when she's home and dry, you know, yeah, the concentration's there, but the job was done. I don't think she'll take a lot from that last game. The fact that she won it is good. But yeah, she's really in the window for a win tomorrow. I just think that we've got 6 great ladies in a Saturday night final, and I, for one, will be looking forward to commentating on it, because we know that kind of once you get to the Saturday, you forget what's gone on the 5 days before. You're at the show. We call it the show. You're at the show, and while you're there, you've always got a chance.
In terms of Vicky Poom, she'll be very happy about the fact she's made it through to Saturday night's final, but will she feel as if tonight didn't quite go to plan, even though she got herself in?
Possibly. She'd have liked to have won that last game to go in with a bit of momentum. But, you know, we are late at night. We're not used to playing at this time of night, particularly the ladies. So I think that she'll be fine, that she's through. She'll go and get a good night's sleep. Obviously, a day of rest tomorrow. They'll be in sort of for 3 hours probably before the games start tomorrow at 7:30 and get their preparation right. This is the bit that they know how to do. They will get the preparation right tomorrow, and, you know, may the best lady win.
So let's break down what we've seen. This is how tomorrow night looks. This is the tournament bracket. Bo Greaves won Group A on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday respectively. Deta Hedman and Rhiannon Sullivan won their places through this afternoon. And tonight, Fallon Sherrock, Vicky Poom and Kirsi Vinnakainen made it into Saturday night's fold. And this is how the tournament's going to break down tomorrow. The players are put into 2 pools of 3. Group 1 sees Bo Greaves, Vicky Poom and Rhiannon Sullivan in the mix, whilst Group 2 will feature Fallon Sherrock, Deta Hedman and Kirsi Vinnakainen. We'll talk about the groups in just a second, Scott, but first of all, Bo Greaves and Fallon Sherrock, are they on that collision course?
I think it depends how each starts tomorrow. Bo's had 2 days off, and she needs to start with a win. She'll have the darts in her first match. It's a job to call, really. Will there be pressure on the 2 of them? It's the 2 that everybody is talking about. Can the other 4 go under the radar a little and start bringing their own game out? Who knows? I think they've been battling to try and qualify and make sure they've made it, so we probably have seen more nervy games from them. Tomorrow night, the Saturday night feel when you're in it, it feels more than lockout. Even though they're little groups, it feels more of a knockout, and you have a different mentality in a knockout. So tomorrow we will see how that changes things, but I know that there's going to be some good matches. Are they going to be on a collision course? Who knows?
Well, let's have a look at those groups again, just to summarise what we're going to see in the pool matches. Would you say Group 1's possibly just a little bit tougher than Group 2 when you consider the way Vicky played on night 1? And we know the quality Rhiannon O'Sullivan's got.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, looking at averages alone of what we've been seeing this week, I would say yes. Other than Fallon being in that Group 1, those are the sort of two danger people. But let's not rule out, Deta or Kirsi. I think for Kirsi, just scraping through means that she would have a harder route to get to the semi-finals in the way that it plays, because she will start second. But I didn't mind that when I came and I was throwing second in the first game, because you knew you then had the darts in the pressure game, which is the second one, because you have to win the second one anyway. So, I just can't call it. I think all 6 have played amazingly well. I think we've seen Kirsi play under immense pressure tonight, but we've seen that she's got the levels last night. So she's not out of it by any means on performances tonight.
Should be fun to find out. Scott, thank you so much for your company as ever. We'll see you tomorrow night, 7:30. We get underway here on the Super Series YouTube channel to see who is going to be crowned the first ever Women's Week champion at the Modus Super Series. Fallon SHERROCK is the victor as far as Group B is concerned. Vicky Prune was also victorious in her quest to make it through to finals night, whilst Kirsi Vinakainen, the Finn, was the last to cross the line. Bye from us.